Good morning and welcome to Jewellery Maker. My name's Ed and I am immediately going to explain why I look like such a dopey fool this morning. The reason I've got plaster all over my head is because I had a little bit of an accident on the way to the studios on Sunday. I had a little cycling collision and banged my head, so that's why I'm wearing the plasters. There is a safety note to mention. Always wear your helmet when you're cycling, otherwise you might hurt yourself seriously. This morning though, we are very, very privileged to be joined by not one guest designer, but two, because Helen is here with Sara. Are you right, Helen?
Good, thanks.
You're the editor of Beads Beyond, is
That's
that
right, yeah.
And come down this morning to demonstrate a kit that you've put together.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, cool. This is the autumnal kit.
It is. Ode to Autumn, I've called it.
Yes.
After the John Keats poem.
I see. Okay. So we've got a beautiful array of jewellery. So we're going to have a demonstration for you in the opening hour of the show. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And we've also got the lovely Sara here as well. So Sarah's going to. You've still got 3 kits. Haven't
I've still got 3 kits.
So there's lots to go around.
You've got extra kits this morning on the show and an extra designer. So how wonderful is that?
What more can you ask for? Double the inspiration. If you have anything that you want to share with us this morning on the show, then you can text in. The number is 60777, but start your text with the phrase JM Studio. Otherwise, I don't know where it goes, but it doesn't come here. And make sure you put your names on them so we can give you a shout out. Of course, if you are logged in at JewelleryMaker.com, simply click the message box and you can write whatever you want, and we can display it on screen with great ease. Okay, yeah, and the screen behind me, the plasma screen, is having some sort of issue this morning.
Having a bad head day, like you.
Yeah, it's having a bad head day. Yeah, exactly. We'll put a couple of plasters over it. That'll help. Yes. So we don't know what's going on with that. A technical problem. Don't worry about it. You're here to get all of the jewellery making deals, and we're not going to let you down. Producer Dee's got all the products, all the amazing prices, and she's about to tell me where we're going to start. And we're going to start with August birthstone as our early bird special. So hopefully you've just got in from the school run or what have you. You've got your phone in hand, because don't forget, the second the graphics hit the screen, you can start to get involved with any of the deals we have here this morning. And all you got to do is simply dial our free phone number. You will come through to a member of our award-winning help team, and you can get your order up and running 24 hours for 1 P&P per day. So you can get your order up and running with our early bird. You can add as many items to your order as you wish, and you're only ever going to pay 1 P&P per day of just £2.95. We're going to start with 35 carats of Peridot, beautiful gemstone, August birthstone, as I mentioned. And the beauty of this gemstone for me is the vibrancy of the colour. You do get almost pleochroism from this gemstone, so you've got that golden tone coming through as well as the lime greens. Actually, I always say lime greens and then I change my mind, because I'm not quite sure they are lime greens. They're more like freshly cut grass greens, I would say. Now, Peridot is the only other gemstone other than diamonds that forms in the crust of the Earth's mantle. So very, very intense pressures and temperatures, of course, and that's probably one of the reasons you get these very intense colour tones. We've got 35 carats on this particular strand. It is a very popular gemstone because, of course, we have sort of developed the idea through our designs that green's going to go with any other gemstone. It's Mother Nature's base tone, but also I think sometimes you're looking to inject a little bit of vibrancy into your designs. It doesn't need to be the sort of focal point of the design, it doesn't have to be the mainstead, but because you've got the little puffy coins here, they're 4 to 5 millimetres in size, quite a subtle size, they're going to work just to add a little note of colour into your designs, I think. Especially the shape will be very easy to integrate into necklace and bracelet designs with ease, I would have thought. 35 carats in total, so fairly hefty carat weight there as well. And we've already got people coming through both on the free phone lines and at JewelleryMaker.com to allocate this. We have got a fairly healthy stock level, but who knows whether there'll be enough to go around. My advice, get involved early. You do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And this morning, we are going to flex our value muscles, shall we say. That's our job here at Jewellery Maker. Because we're part of the Genuine Gemstone Company, we want to make genuine gemstones as accessible as possible. And we do that by finding you the most competitive prices available. If you want to get involved, start dialing, because here comes your rather ridiculous early bird price point. $6.95 for 35 carats of peridot, and I will just say, quite a lengthy strand. You've got 30 centimetres on this particular strand, and yes, that works out at quite a large number of gemstones. So these are, I suppose, one of those things that you could have on your stall at a craft fair if you wanted to create bespoke jewellery to order, because of course some people will want their birthstone within their jewellery designs. If you've got peridot on your stall, then you know that you're definitely going to be able to offer people their birthstone. 35 carats in total, 4 to 5 millimetre puffy coins for just $6.95. That is the perfect way to get your order up and running this morning. And look at that, I love the way, because you've got those flat surfaces on the gemstone itself, the light is playing on the surface of the gemstone beautifully. You've got almost a sort of reflective quality there. Just goes to highlight the vibrancy that you get with peridot. Just $6.95 this morning. This is an exclusive launch price to us. So at 9 AM tomorrow, who knows if we will be able to honour this price. A lot of people multi-buying this strand. That's good. That is the way to shop from us. As I say, only 1 P&P per day. So if you are looking to perhaps create multiple designs using this gemstone, maybe this is just your favourite gemstone, maybe it's not your birthstone, but you just love the colour tone, then that's the way to do it. You can add as many to your order as you wish. We're never going to limit you, because of course we aim to be your one-stop shop for all your jewellery making needs. So $6.95 this morning, that is the perfect way to get your order up and running. And we are now going to give everybody a bit of a treat, because we're going to do a double early bird special this morning. So not just one but two. And is it that one? Thank you. Here we go then. So this is a brand new item. These are the little S-class. Now we've seen these little connectors before on the show, but these have got a little twist. Oh, pardon the pun, obviously. They have got a little twist, because that's the whole design of them. But they've got a little bit of extra detailing on them that we normally see. Oh, okay. Just to let everybody know, there's still a lot of people coming through on the phone lines for the peridot, so don't panic when we take the graphics off screen. There's still plenty to go round, apparently, and the help team are dealing with your calls. You'll be answered in the order in which you dial, as I say. Award-winning help team, so they're all very friendly, so they will get it added to your order as soon as possible. Congratulations, in fact, if you are getting hold of genuine gemstones for just $6.95. Have a look at these then. This is a brand new item to us, and fortunately, such a significant look that I don't need to use my tweezers. Regular viewers will know I'm terrible with tweezers, Helen. Yeah. Oh, do you already know? Yeah. Okay, that's okay then. You've come prepared. You already know my flaws. There we go. So, yeah, don't need my tweezers here, because you also get two rather large jump rings on the end of the connector. So very easy, again, to integrate into your designs, but also, I think, quite a significant look. I think you could actually make these a bit of a feature of your designs. Maybe in an asymmetrical necklace, you could hang them vertically. I've actually seen them used instead of a clasp as a fastening at the end of at the back of a necklace design before. How would you use these, Helen?
Well, you could use them at the side as well on your asymmetric designs. In fact, we'll see later some occasions where I've used not the same clasp as that, but other clasps where I've actually made a feature of it rather than having it hidden at the back.
It away, yeah, exactly.
When it's something pretty like that, you want it to be seen, don't you?
Yeah, the detailing itself is interesting as well, because it's a mix of the two metal tones, which is quite on trend at the moment, isn't it? This is something that a lot of people are featuring in their designs now, not just sort of rose gold and yellow gold, but rose gold and silver as well. So that's a nice look, isn't it? The detailing itself almost, for me, it almost looks like sort of Aztec design or tribalistic design or something, but I suppose different connotations for different people. Depends what kind of design you're going to include it in. So yeah. Also, on top of that, I'll tell you what I do think this would look nice in, because you've got that almost oxidisation on the silver work. Be quite good in vintage style designs, do you think? Or?
Yeah, it's not too bright a silver, is it? So
yeah,
anything
sort of
ethnic
down,
or
isn't it?
yeah.
Beautiful. Now these are 21 by 11 mil in size, as I say, quite a significant size for your designs. They will, I think, make quite a big impact. And if you look here, can we just look at the very tip where it sort of curls up? That just goes to show the attention to detail that has been applied to this particular finding, because you've got that little curled up edge there just to show, almost like script writing and what have you. And it just goes to show your customers that even with your findings, you are searching out the best possible look for their designs. This would be great if you work on personal commissions where perhaps your customers do sit down with you and do have a say in the way the design's going to look at. If you've got, you know, findings that add character to the design and offer them more options, more choice, then I think it'll probably lead to a greater number of commissions. Now, I will just say you get 5 of these as part of this particular deal, so you don't just get one of these. So you've got plenty to go round, and maybe you'd like to include them in a range of different designs. I knew that was going to happen. You can see there you've got 5 in total. Now, if you do want to get involved with this deal, I should just warn you, we've already got a queue on the phone lines of around about 1.5 minutes. People still queuing. I guess some people for the Peridot, because we've just brought you Peridot for $6.95. And the details for the Peridot are available at the bottom of the screen. You can still add these to your order. There's still some stock available right now. Oh, can I just say I made an error. I was talking about the look of the gemstones, but I might have misled people because I was talking about the silver look and the rose gold look. Just to be clear, it is copper that is your base metal here, so that's where you're getting the rose gold tone from. Just to be clear, it's not actually rose gold, it's actually copper that's been used here. And it is sterling silver with that oxidisation, so hopefully that clears that up. My apologies. You've got your little S hook here, as I say, in your copper tone with your sterling silver detailing. And the jump rings here, I did say they're quite large, 7mm in size, so quite easy, and they are open jump rings as well. So, if you want to get involved with this deal, you need to be dialing right now. As I say, we've already got a queue on the phone lines, but if you're shopping at JewelleryMaker.com, that won't be a concern. You can simply click to buy now, add these to your order, but make sure you're checking out your baskets to avoid disappointment. Lots and lots of interest on these particular items, so make sure you are dialing that number right now. $12.95. You get 5 of them for this price. Of course, think about how labour intensive it is to actually create all of these. They're very sort of exacting, they're all identical, very uniform look. I mean, actually, you could almost use these in a sort of showcase necklace design, and then you could feature multiple varieties of this, so you could have more than one of these in your design if it was going to be a bit of a showcase piece. $12.95 is another exclusive launch price to us this morning, this time for the little Aztec S-shaped connectors, that's what I'm going to call them. We've got people getting involved with the show already. Oh, I love it. This is the way to do it. If you want to get interactive this morning, then, you know, it's not our show, it's your show. Any questions you've got for Helen or Sarah, or any top tips, or, like Donna Marie, if you just want to say hi or just switched on after doing the school run, it's lovely to see you back, Ed. Hope you're feeling better. Looking forward to another fab show. So if you want to say something nice to me, you go top of the list. You're straight on air. Oh, Kay's also texting and says, so pleased to see you back. Please, please always wear your helmet when cycling. I was so worried about you. Love from Kay, who you met on Saturday. Yes, okay, Kay, I met you on Saturday. You were here for the workshop. Thank you so much. What a lovely message. In fact, thank you to everybody. I was showing lots of concern on Facebook. Yes, in fact, do you know what? I put images of my skydive on Facebook, and it was seen by about 2,000 people. I put a picture of a bump on my head, and it was seen by about 4,000 people. There you go. But lots of concern, lots of get well soon. So thank you very much to our lovely customers. And as I say, a bit of a community feel here, so don't hesitate to get involved if you have anything that you want to share with us this morning. As I say, especially if you want to say something lovely about me. Now, we are going to move on. As I say, it's a bit of a special morning really here on Jewellery Maker. We're joined by two guest designers, but Helen is only going to be here for the opening hour of the show. So right now we are going to set Sara a little bit of a challenge. Am I able to go straight across? Is that what I'm doing? Am I just staying here? There you go. I'm getting excited. I wanted to come and join you. So what is Sara's challenge going to be? All of these? That's not much of a challenge, is it? Look at this fantastic array of gemstones. It's like being in a sweet shop.
It is, isn't it?
So actually, it has got a pretty sort of confectionery-like feel to it. This collection. These are your 4mm rounds, so very, very versatile. In fact, Sara and I talk about this all the time when we're on the show. We talk about the versatility of 4mm rounds. They tend to lend themselves to a lot of our popular disciplines. Bead loom, for example.
Definitely on your bead loom. Great for your kumihimo, your soutache work.
Oh yeah, framing your cabochon.
Yeah, great for any braiding projects you might have in mind where you want that smaller gemstone, because those braids are
Are they small enough to be used in micro macrame?
They are small enough to be used in your micro macrame if you want to use those. So they would look beautiful in some of the designs that Mark's done recently, where you've got those long sections of the cords. Yes. You could actually put the beads over the cords instead of having that open weave. Actually fill it all in with beads.
That's nice. I like that. And of course, for people who enjoy sort of the classic beading techniques, the beady beads themselves, 4mm rounds, are always in demand for those looks, aren't they?
They are. And when you change the colours on your beady bead as well, if you use two different colours, it just gives it a completely different look.
Ah, right, yeah. Almost does, again, it could have a sort of ethnic feel to it if you pick the right colour tones.
And you can get, if you change the colours in the right way, you can get a stripe around the middle of your beady beads and things like that. So you can do so many different things with them.
Let me take you through everything that you've got here before we set Sara the actual challenge. I'm going to start with these beautiful colours because I think they would go with Helen's kit so beautifully. A little, maybe just to supplement the kit itself, because they've got all those beautiful 4 colours there. The tangerines, the earthy brown, beautiful, coming through from your orange agate. 20 carats in total, and of course 4mm rounds, as all of the strands are in this particular bundle. Then we've got your blue agate. This is almost a sort of tanzanite blue, if you like. Beautiful, 28 carats on that particular strand. Green adventurine, that beautiful pastel tone. That is, I suppose, very eclectic. These are the kind of green tones that really will go with any other gemstone. Very feminine look, particularly if you match it up with the pinks. Almost like a little rosebud then, isn't it? The greens and the pinks. And that's your pink quartzite, 4mm in size, of course. Moving on. Oh, look at these. Perfect for your festive designs. They almost look like little cranberries. Gorgeous. So this is your red crackled quartz. So you've got those little inclusions inside the gemstone, adding a little bit of texture to your designs potentially. Unakite, another popular gemstone. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got that swirl of colour on there, the sort of forest greens, and that beautiful sort of terracotta tone mixed in there, slight pink hues as well. So that's your unakite. Then you have got your multicoloured, these are your agates, right? Okay, so you've got multicoloured agates, which are actually faceted, and these are more of the deeper colour tones. So you've got your sort of petrol blues, even jet blacks there, your greens, your reds, your golden tones, and then for a real vibrant look, the more contemporary colour tones, here you've got your multicoloured quartzite. So again, 4mm rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 individual strands of 4mm rounds, and well, I was going to say every colour of the rainbow, but I think you've probably got even more colours than you find in the rainbow here. Absolutely beautiful spectrum of colour tones here. 8 strands in total, and of course, this is how we provide you with incredible value on Jewellery Maker. When we take a selection of gemstones from our website, we bundle them together, it creates a unique discount code, which allows us to work on slightly lower margins. So therefore, we can offer you a unique discount deal, a wholesale price for genuine gemstones this morning. 8 strands in total already, lots and lots of people coming through on the phone lines, and most people multi-buying this. So that makes me think that producer Dion has got a bit of a crafty price for us. If you want to get involved, start dialing the free phone number, because your 4mm bundle with 8 strands for £21.95, so some £4 a strand this morning for genuine gemstones, agate, unakite, crackled quartz, adventurine, the list goes on, and the colour tones are phenomenal. Have you already got some designs in mind?
I've just started working on one, which is actually a wire swirl shaped bangle, which I'm actually going to sew the gemstones into.
Okay.
So it proves that although the gemstones are quite dainty in their size, they don't need to necessarily be set into the daintier pieces of jewellery.
Okay.
They can stand alongside your wire work if you want to do your wire work pieces, whether you want to do some gizmo work or whether you want to do sort of freehand wire work. They'll stand beautifully against your larger gemstones as well. You can make cages around larger gemstones. You can do lots of things like make bales for, I know we had the larger agate slabs on, I think, yesterday's show and the late show the night before. Okay. You could make bales for those, or bead caps for them out of the smaller beads, and they just work beautifully. So
they're becoming more of an accent gemstone then, but still adding to the design.
And if you want to do things like your peyote stitch or your brick stitch or your right angled weave with them, your bead looming, they're just absolutely perfect. And you want lots and lots of different colours and lots of different textures, which you've got in this bundle, for those sort of bead loom pieces where you can then create your patterns in your bead loom work as you go. And because they're all the same size, they make it really, really easy to work with.
So very easy gemstones to incorporate into your designs because of the size and of course the variety of colour tones that you've actually got on this particular bundle. £21.95 for 8 individual strands of gemstones. If you are placing these in your basket, you need to be checking out to avoid disappointment. We know that the smaller size gemstones are often in demand here at Jewellery Maker. They're a little bit harder to come by, I suppose, than the sort of rough cuts of the top drilled gemstones. Whenever you see them on screen, grab them as quickly as possible, especially when you've got a wholesale bundle like this, because you're pretty much set for, well, I suppose it depends how much jewellery you make, how often, but they're going to last you some time, aren't they?
Can you imagine if you use these to make your own rosary link chains from? By the time you've actually made all those links, you actually space them out. You're going to off one of those strands.
Oh, you have one of those metre-long chains like we sell.
Yeah, so you're going to get a really long piece of jewellery from that. So if you want to make something like a chain for glasses, if you're like me, I now have to have glasses on and off when I'm beading, and I'm forever losing them. So I need to make myself a glasses chain so I don't lose them.
These are kind of things as well that do actually sell quite well at craft fairs. They're more like quirky items. I see them selling.
They're unusual gifts for somebody who's got everything.
Yes,
you know, so if someone's got, you know, lots and lots of things that, you know, you're thinking, crikey, what on earth do I buy this person? That they may be somebody who always loses their glasses and are always on top of their head, or you know, so maybe that's something they actually do need in their life.
And also, I don't know how to word this, but people who are a little bit, shall we say, fussy. Some people don't like you to buy them jewellery designs in case it doesn't suit their outfits and things, but something like that has a practical use as well. Like
it does.
Would be really popular, I think.
It does, and you know, if you do something that's maybe a little bit more multicoloured using the agate, for instance, that agate chain, that agate strand, where it's got a little bit more of the multicoloured in there, you could, you know, possibly make your rosary chain using maybe the red crackle quartz as your base colour, and then just adding a few of those extra tones in there, just to make it so it'll go with lots and lots of different outfits.
Yeah, that's a fantastic combination. I love that. Very, very versatile. That's the nature of this particular bundle, because you've got such an array of colour tones and you've got them all in the same size, so you know they're going to work and they're going to sit nicely together within your designs. $21.95 for 8 strands of your 4mm rounds. Okay, so a few people just returning home from the school run, tuning in. Maybe you weren't watching on Sunday night, and now you're thinking, what on earth are you dressed up like Pudsey Bear for? Basically, on the way to the studios on Sunday, I had a little bit of an accident, came off my bike and bumped my head, and that's why I got the plasters on there. So, yes, as I say, thank you very much for all your kind wishes, and get well soons on Facebook. And yes, as I say, if you want to send anything through to the show about me, as long as it's nice, that'll be fine. 21.95. The text number is 60777. So there you go, James Studio. But of course, if you want to keep it jewellery making related, then I'm sure that will take everyone's fancy as well this morning. So Sarah is going off to work on her challenge now, her 4mm rounds, and is Helen going to be rejoining us? So Helen's coming back over now. So we've got 2 designers this morning, so if people are still texting in, then they might not have met Helen yet. Helen is the editor of Beads and Beyond magazine, so maybe you have some is that right? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Beads and Beyond,
Beads and Beyond, yeah. You know, when you just think, am I saying that right? Am I saying somebody's name right? So yes, Beads and Beyond magazine, that's been going for how long now?
Oh, you know, you're asking me, since about 2007, I think. Okay. So not quite the 10 years, but getting there.
Getting there, yeah, nearly there.
Yeah.
And obviously focused around jewellery making. Other crafts as well, or is it?
No, it can be other items,
yes,
shall we say, made with the same materials and techniques that you'd use for your jewellery, but we have been going a bit beyond beads.
I see,
so,
of course.
yeah, so things, accessories, things for your hair. We did luggage tags a few months ago, so you know, but all using the same techniques that you'd use for your jewellery pieces.
Okay, brilliant. All right, yeah. So possibly look into that, because I do know that a lot of the jewellery magazines do provide crafters with a lot of inspiration, so that's why Helen's here this morning. She's going to show us some of her designs. Actually, Helen has worked with our product strategy team to put together her own kit, and it is rather fantastic. So we're going to be doing that pretty soon. Where are we going to first, sir? Of course, yes. I'm really excited about this. It's coming up just after 10 AM. This is a brand new item to us here at Jewellery Maker. And it does come from our Gems of Distinction range, which is our elite range of gemstones, sourced by our Indian buying office in Jaipur. And it's a bit of a double deal from the same collection. So you don't have to pick one. You get both of these. Just so you see, they are 2 individual strands. But I just twisted them together because you get both as part of this deal. These are 2 of our most popular gemstones here at Jewellery Maker. Of course, the Labradorite, famously voted as our favourite gemstone for the last 2 years. When I actually ask people on Facebook why they love Labradorite so much, they always give me the same reason. It's because the optical effect helps them to sell their jewellery designs. This is the kind of gemstones that actually do capture people's imagination, and I suppose they almost make people realise the mystery behind working with genuine gemstones. And I think that when you see a genuine optical effect within a gemstone, that's what makes you realise Mother Nature's played her part. You know, you couldn't really recreate this using glass or plastic, even though synthetic beads, you know, have their place within jewellery making. I think when you're looking for feature gemstones and gemstones that will add value to your designs, these are the kind of items that, as I say, will capture people's imagination and turn them on to the idea of beginning a genuine gemstone collection, particularly within their jewellery designs. Moonstone and Labradorite, Adulorescence and Labradorescence, coming to you just after 10 AM as a double deal. And unfortunately, I don't think there'll be enough of those to go around. But get on the phone lines early and put yourself at the front of the queue. We're now going to go over and meet Helen and see her designs. How are you, okay?
I'm good, thank you.
So, were you excited when you got hold of this kit, or when you were putting the kit together? I should say?
Yeah. Autumn's my favourite season for doing jewellery. So, yeah, I was really excited to see such a huge range of Morganite on the side for me to choose from. So I was struggling a little bit to pare it down, but yeah. I think we've got a really nice range.
Yeah, fantastic suite of jewellery. I love the way it's displayed as well. These are fantastic. Yeah.
Had those at my wedding, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, centerpieces with candles in.
Did you have an autumn wedding?
September, so getting on for autumn. Yeah.
That's nice. So why do you love autumn so much, I should ask?
I think it's the colours and it's all those opportunities to depict nature.
Yeah,
so
it's very easy to create very cohesive designs.
And semi-precious stones are perfect.
Yes.
For anything natural looking. So
you've got a good array of the more autumnal gemstones here: Morganite, tiger's eye.
The bronzite, yeah.
Oh,
which is
I
wasn't familiar with bronzite, but actually, you know, you were talking about the Labradorite having that sort of. This has actually got quite it's similar to the tiger's eye.
Beautiful schiller.
But it has, I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's got a real, I mean, you can see why they call it bronzite, really.
Yes.
It's got an absolutely gorgeous metallic sort of sheen to it.
That's exactly it, yeah. It is quite similar to the chatoyancy you see on tiger's eye, isn't it? But a little bit more metallic, like you said. That's how I would describe it as well. Yeah, fantastic. Love this array of gemstones, though. There's actually a little bit of a joke that the channel manager always cracks, that I use the word autumnal too much. When I used to be a manager on the channel, she said, "Oh, no prizes for guessing who's made this kit. Autumnal, this, autumnal." So I'm glad. A kindred spirit here, that's what it is.
Well, did you do Keats at school? Oh, I did a lot of Keats at A-level English, and not the most, shall we say, uplifting poets. No. But Ode to Autumn was quite a nice poem.
That's one of the more positive ones, isn't it? Yes, so there you go. This suite is absolutely spectacular, this jewellery. So you've got real, quite gem-heavy pieces, sort of showcase pieces.
Yeah, the bracelet there with the strands, which I'm just been making one actually. What I love about Morganite is that you get every single colour you could think of relating to autumn on one strand. So you're buying one strand of beads, but you're getting all those colours to use. And so I've sort of separated them out a little bit in that particular bracelet.
And of course, a one-location gemstone. So that's a little piece of information you can share with your customers. I love this. It's quite almost sort of a charm style bracelet,
but made with strands of chain rather than just a single.
It's gorgeous.
And using bars of the little Morganite, just with the faceted Morganite, 4 millimetres. So you were talking about the 4 millimetres earlier. There's another use for you.
There you go. So if you got hold of that 4mm bundle, this might be a way that you'd like to integrate them into your designs. I'm going to take you through everything you get in the kit actually, and I'll quickly take you through these gemstones. Oh, this is a fantastic array of, as you say, autumnal.
Well, do you know what? I started making one piece and then I couldn't stop.
That's the beauty. That's when you know you're onto a winner with a kit.
I think I ended up with one leaf and a couple of little faceted beads left at the end, and that was it. Yeah. Wow. So I think I've made 10 pieces out of that one kit.
Would you say that you take your inspiration from the gemstones themselves, so they lead you through the design, or did you already have designs in mind?
I think on a couple of them I already had the designs in mind, but the 4mm in particular, they lend themselves, as we said before, to so many things. I mean, I've got the earrings there, using them. They're pretty much, I've used them to wire in this one here.
Oh yes.
I've wired them to a circle of the heavier gauge wire.
Absolutely fantastic. So they've become a real feature of that design, haven't they? Absolutely gorgeous. So you get 4 strands of gemstones. I should just warn everybody that possibly because of the rather beautiful array of gemstones, we only have a limited number in stock. Fewer than 50 of this particular kit. So if you do want to get involved and you want to add Helen's kit to your order, you once again need to be dialing that free phone number very, very quickly. They are already being allocated to orders. It's proving to be popular, Helen.
I'm not surprised.
So you've got the 4mm Morganite. So as Helen rightly said, you've got that, well, absolute myriad of autumnal colours there. You've got the aubergines and the mustard tones.
Yeah, and the little dusky pinks as well.
I love them. They're gorgeous,
and because they're faceted, you've got a little bit of sparkle, which you don't necessarily want lots of sparkle in your autumn jewellery. You just want a little bit of a frosty feel to it. That's
a great word actually to describe it, isn't it? So it's almost like they're frosted rather than giving you sparkle. They're giving you a bit of frosting. That's quite good. It's because you've got those very delicate facets on the 4mm rounds. You can see that play of light there as I just move them slightly. You also get these little leaves. So once again, a gemstone that's adding character to your designs, not overpowering, but adding
they're nice
a little
and
bit
small.
of detailing.
Sometimes leaves, you know, gemstone leaves can be quite large to get the detail in, but those are perfect size.
Exactly right. Yeah,
they're about 12mm, I think.
Little carvings.
Yeah.
And these are flying out the door. We're down to 38 already. So we're looking at a bit of a sellout deal here this morning. We've also got your top drilled rounds of Morganite. Yeah. Quite interesting. We don't see top drilled rounds that often. And then, of course, the carved flowers as well. Here, once again, another optical effect, because you've got the chatoyancy from your tiger's eye, and these are very large. You can just see another 10 of these kits have flown out the door. I better get you on to your findings, because with this kit you get the antique bronze finding pack, which matches perfectly with the colour tones.
And it goes brilliantly with the wire as well. Just to point out that the bronze findings, they're not like many of the bronze findings that you see that are quite dull, a sort of dull, sort of goldy bronze colour. These have got a really warm golden tone to them, so they're really gorgeous, and they go really well with the
because
with the wire.
Get that almost golden hue coming through
so it means
from the wire
you can use your wire. I've used wire to make eye pins, I've used them to make head pins, I've used them to make wide beads, and they all tones in beautifully with the findings kit.
Perfect. And you've got this one's 0.6, isn't it? So you've got 0.6 and 0.8, so perfect.
Good all-purpose wire gauges, really.
So you can use the 0.6 for maybe more of the delicate and the weaving type techniques, but the 0.8 will have more structure.
Yeah, and you can use it to make findings. 0.8's fine for that.
Oh, but if you've got any other little plastic finding making machines, don't put 0.8 in that because it breaks them. I know from personal experience. You know, the ones that put the little pins
I know the
in
finding
things.
forms, So
0.6 is how I'd go with those. And then I should just say, you do get your, there's more to come. Yeah. You've still got your traditional threading materials. I'll just because you get your beading thread, your monofilament and your elastic, but we've also included some of your wax cord, again in these beautiful earthy colour tones, the chocolate brown, the sort of more earthy brown tone, and then the beige or the cream tone. Again, very, very versatile kit here, but all very cohesive, so it's all been put together
and
with
you can use, I'm not an expert on kumihimo, but I've actually used the wax cord to do the kumihimo on that. So it gives quite a chunky kumihimo.
I know a woman who is. I can hear her shaking in her boots from the other side of the studio. It's beautiful, very tight weave there, and you can hear it. It's fantastic, and it works beautifully in those colours. Okay, my producer's telling me that we are looking at a serious sellout deal here. We've got to get the price on screen, and here it comes. So if you were to buy all of these items individually from our website, it costs you over £58, which already represents the best value on the market. But of course, whenever we put together one of our jewellery kits, the idea is that we create a wholesale deal. There you go. So that's almost half price. Should be over £58, under £30.
Amazing.
Perfect. And do you get these as well?
I didn't use those. No, I prefer to make my own eye pins with the wire.
Deal. I think it's another deal coming up. I'm getting carried away now. There you go. So I've got this little part of it. Okay, so before the kit sells out, let's see one of your pieces.
Well, I thought maybe I'd show you a bird's nest. So if you want to grab that kumihimo,
I love this design. Yes.
With the little wire birds.
The little wire bird's nest.
And the thing about this one is you can use any gauge wire you like, any amount of wire you like, and you end up with a different size bird's nest. So you can use smaller beads, smaller gauge wire, and you'll end up with a much smaller bird's nest, like the ones I've used in the earrings, just over there.
Over here. I'll pull them over here. There we go.
So those are using, again, those 4mm
that's gorgeous.
faceted Morganite beads as the eggs, and then the 0.6mm wire.
I love this kit. It's very in tune with Mother Nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even the designs as well as the gemstones.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
So to make that larger nest,
yes.
I'm just, you're gonna have to watch your eyes. You should have safety goggles on for this.
Oh, right.
I'm not the safest person with wire. It does tend to fling about.
That's what I tell everybody to put their goggles on when I get my tweezers out, Helen.
You don't want an eye injury to go with your head injury, do you?
Actually, I think I'm getting a little black eye this morning with it, you know.
Oh dear.
So yes.
So I'm just going to cut. I tend to just cut sort of a workable length of wire.
Okay.
And the first thing I'm going to do, if you have a look at the one on the necklace, I've made a bail as part of the nest. So I'm actually going to just use a trusty pen just to create that bail, which I've just made using 3 loops around the pen.
Yeah, so anything cylindrical.
Yeah, anything. And I made the bail quite big on this occasion because it needed to go around the Kumihimo braid.
The Kumihimo braid, yeah.
Okay, just gonna squash it together a little bit and wrap that just loosely round for now. So that's my bail. Next thing I need to do is add my eggs.
Ah, okay.
So I'm going to take my end. I've picked 3 Morganite beads that's sort of eggy coloured and similar tones. Perfect.
I suppose you could go and pick sort of completely different coloured gemstones if you wanted to.
Yeah,
almost
I've made blackbird nests because they've got sort of those lovely bluey colour.
Yes.
And the nice thing about these top drilled Morganite beads is that they sit slightly differently. It's got quite what I call a jaunty. So when you use them in necklaces and string them, and they kind of sit, they don't sit the same as when they're just centre drilled, which is quite nice, I think.
It's good, isn't it? Because they're not sort of like sitting in a very uniformed way. They almost have a natural
quirkiness
to them.
Yeah. So I'm going to take those right up to where I've made the bail, pretty much to the end, but allowing a little space, and then just curve them round to form a little cluster. And then I'm going to start forming the nest.
Beautiful.
And all you do is wind the wire around. No tools needed really, just your hands. And once I've gone around a few times, just make sure that the beads are poking up a little bit out of the nest, otherwise they'll get completely hidden. I've gone around about 3 times probably. And then what I'm going to do, just to keep those wires in place, I'm going to thread the end of the wire down through one of the loops, pull it through. This is where you need to watch your eyes.
Right.
Because it does ping.
I'll be aware.
I'll be so busy watching your eyes, I'll ping myself in the eye.
Don't worry about mine. Mine's already, I'm already all smashed up.
I'm going to thread it through again, just so it forms a loop around and holds those wires in place. Not too tight, so that's the first loop. Keep going round in the same direction.
Single figures of availability remaining on this stock.
And of course, if you miss this, or you want to see exactly how to make the bird's nest, they are in our October issue, which is out tomorrow.
Here you go, perfect. So as you can see, I was just saying, lots of crafters take inspiration from these magazines, Beads and Beyond. And this is Helen's magazine. She's the editor of this. So the autumn.
Yeah, definitely autumn.
The autumn edition
full of leaves,
is out tomorrow.
Out tomorrow, yeah. Subscribers have got their copies already.
Okay.
But it's on general sale from tomorrow.
There you go then. So it'll be in all the big retailers.
Yeah, and there's a whole section, recipes for, which has got these birds' nests and lots of other great things to do with your beads and wire.
You're going to show us how to create this in a second as well, aren't you? Is that right?
Well, I'm not sure I can show you.
Okay.
It's quite fiddly, but I can certainly talk you through.
Okay.
Through the earrings. So
I love this as well. Sorry, I've just got engrossed in your magazine.
It was a beautiful issue to do.
These,
that's polymer clay.
That's what I thought.
Amazing, isn't it?
Look at that. I love this. This would be right up Debbie Bolford's street, actually.
Yeah.
These are the kind of items she actually creates with these colours as well.
Yeah.
She's just next door doing a workshop. Not sure what her workshop today is. Is it chainmail?
Oh, chainmail.
I knew. I
That's
knew when they
I haven't really got into yet.
That's my discipline of choice, you see, Helen. I like chainmail.
Really?
I want to go on the course, but I'm always working when I'm supposed to be on one. Oh,
you can see I'm starting to build this up. I mean, obviously, I'd probably do a few more loops around to secure it, but you're starting to get the idea. It's all this talking whilst trying to do it, you see.
I've never done anything without talking, so I don't. I'm used to it.
It's supposed to be rustic, though, isn't it? It's a nest.
Yeah,
birds don't make uniform nests, as far as I know.
Absolutely not. That's the other good thing about having quite naturalistic designs that are inspired by Mother Nature.
They can look rustic.
Yeah, they can. You know, you don't have to be really exact in what you're doing.
No.
And with wire work, that's often the best sort of route to go down, isn't it? Because you know the shape it takes, if it does flow naturally.
You don't want to force it, otherwise you end up with nasty sharp bends in it. And so you can see it's starting to take shape.
And I noticed there that you just sort of shaping it with your hand a little as well. So
yeah. And the great thing about doing these the way I've done it is they become double-sided in effect.
Right.
There's no back or front, so if you're making a pendant, it doesn't matter how it
quite useful because often they will sort of turn over, won't they, when you're wearing them and things like that, and you still get you just get a different effect, I suppose, if it does flip over.
Let's just poke that little egg back up. There we are. You're getting the idea. Pull my bail back round. And then you can take your time shaping it and then finish off your wire just by tucking it in, and you can get your pliers and do a much neater job than I'm doing.
But you have much more time when you're at home and you're working on this design.
And you're not chatting.
True. Well, I'm not sure about that. I've met these jewellery makers, they're pretty chatty.
So, as you can see, very few tools required. I'm just going to straighten up that bail a little bit. And there you go.
There you go, perfect. Thank you so much.
One little bird's nest. I'll just lift it up so you can see. Yeah, so use any coloured gemstones really. Blackbird eggs are really nice.
I love it. I love how, the effect of using it with the kumihimo as well, because you get the mixture of mediums there as well, different textures in the design. Absolutely fantastic. But I mean, you could put this pendant on any.
Yeah, or you could use even heavier gauge wire. You might need to use some tools, make a lovely brooch.
Oh yeah, fantastic. So maybe like 1 mil or even 1.25.
Yeah,
to create
you have to work hard to get it into shape. But some bigger gemstones.
That look fantastic. Actually, I was going to say that earlier when we were talking about the glasses chains that they sell quite well at craft fairs. Brooches, massive sellers at craft fairs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Something a little bit different. Something we don't see, I suppose, every day. You're always going to see bracelets and necklaces, but brooches are.
And they're quite a nice gift to give someone who you don't necessarily know what their style is.
Yeah, and if you don't know you don't know their ring size, you don't know if they've got their ears
or
pierced.
what necklace length they like.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, brooches are pretty sort of versatile gift, I suppose. Now, if you do want to get hold of this kit, I'm afraid we've got just a handful remaining in stock. It has proved to be very, very popular, and I think the gorgeous designs probably part of the reason for that, but also the value should be over £58, under £30. An incredible deal this morning, just £29.95. And as you can see, that if you did want to emulate this design on a smaller scale, make fantastic earrings as well.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And I've just teamed those up with a couple of the little bronzite leaves.
Now, actually, the other earrings that you've got here, those are a similar shape to what we see in your design.
Yeah, on the front cover.
There you go.
But I've been a bit sneaky.
Oh, yes.
I cheated a little bit.
Oh, that's all right. Are you Blue Peter in it? That's how we like it.
I cheated a little bit. Well, there wasn't any really heavy gauge wire in the kit.
Okay.
But then I saw these, which are in the findings
pack. Those do
pack.
come as part of the findings, don't they? Fancy earring findings.
Yes. So you might spot that. Hang on, let me grab one.
And they're already leaf shaped.
They're already leaf shaped.
Perfect.
So all I did was unwind that little loop.
Yep.
Trim them down to about the same size. Put 2 loops on either piece, and you've got perfect leaf frame shape. thread on a couple of the large spacer beads that you also get in the findings pack. And then it's a case of using your beading wire to form loops.
The beading thread,
beading wire, yeah.
Yeah, oh, fantastic.
And the little crimps just to hold the loops in place. Bit fiddly, takes a little bit of time and quite hard to get 2 earrings symmetrical. But you know, you can be a bit more
naturalistic. It doesn't matter if they're identical, does it? As long as
because you've got all those colours in the Mookaite, really nice effect. So, alternative to the crystals that we've got in our project in the October issue.
So, if you wanted to supplement this design that's using synthetics for the genuine gemstones, Mookaite fit the bill.
Definitely.
Perfect, there you go. As I say, very, very limited availability now on the Ode to Autumn jewellery kit, which has been created by Helen. I'm sure everybody has fallen in love with her fantastic designs. Very seasonal, these designs, and yes, I'm a big advocate of this, working from season to season, you see.
Yeah.
Some jewellery makers prefer to have, you know, more of a free-flowing view, but I like the idea of creating jewellery for your seasons. Yeah. Especially if you're a hobbyist and you're making jewellery for yourself. It just makes sense to work that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this is all being put together. Are you being serious? Is somebody... Oh, you're not talking to me. Sorry. I thought so, you know, I better tell everybody now, in case they think... I realise now, one of our producers is called Helena. And somebody just said, it's Helena, and I thought, please don't tell me. I've been calling her wrong, her name wrong for an hour. No, that's why I just had that moment of panic there, so my apologies. But yes, we met this morning, so I knew your name was Helen. Yes, doesn't take much to throw me, especially when I've had a bump on the head. Okay, now we're going to find out what you have been creating, because we're going to head over to the Wall of Fame. Hey, welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Time now for the Wall of Fame. This is your opportunity to have your designs shown live on air. One thing I should say, because I got asked a question on Facebook the other day, don't panic if you don't see your design on the show. Every single entry we receive is entered into the draw. And once again, am I right in saying that we'll be making the draw later in the show? Whenever I agree to do a morning show, it always tends to be on a Wednesday, so I get to do the draw.
You get to do the fun bit.
Yeah, because somebody will have £50 added to their Jewellery Maker account, and the winner will have £100 added to their Jewellery Maker account. This is a completely random prize draw. We're going to pick the raffle tickets out of the little tombola. And I'll start this morning with number 385. You can see that's your number, and this has been sent in by Lorraine Gregory. It says, hi all at JM Towers, here's my entry for this week's Wall of Fame. It's a set I've been waiting a long time to make, as it consists of 2 of my birthstones. Ooh. Let's have a look.
What do they,
are these pearls and moonstone, I think? Yeah. You're a June baby like me, Lorraine. Took a lot of hint dropping to my husband to get gems for my birthday anniversary present. Instead of the usual roses, which I love, the moonstones are 6mm plain rounds, and the pale blue cultured potato pearls are 6x5mm rounds. All of the findings are clasps, 95 sterling silver from yourselves, of course. Good luck to everyone in this week's draw from sunny South Wales. So this is from Lorraine. You are number 385, and good luck to you with the draw. So, oh, this is interesting.
383, and this is from Heather Marlowe. Hello, lovely people. After receiving this amber from you, I thought it was too small to wire wrap, but I didn't want to return it as it has a fly in it. How strange. And you showed a ring mount, and together with your amber beads, this ring was born. Good luck to all, and thank you for such great programmes. And that's love from Heather.
That's beautiful, and actually, amber, if you've got any of those cabochons, those would go beautifully with your kit as well, wouldn't they?
Really
the colour
great.
tone.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Complete with fly.
Yes, true. That's amazing.
That's a bonus in amber, I think, isn't it?
You can make your own dinosaur.
My little boy would be absolutely chuffed to bits if he found something with a fly in it.
Yeah, no, I think it is a bit of a bonus because it's sort of a snapshot of time, then, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. This is another very organic looking design. It's been sent in by Valentina from London. Oh, very beautiful name as well. Hi there, here is a set of jewellery I made using the gorgeous Biwa pearls from JM and black goldstone beads from my stash. I purchased these before I discovered JM. I decided to let the pearls talk for themselves by just simply stringing them. Good luck to all the entrants, and that's from Valentino. You are number 386. That's gorgeous. I love those more organic looking pearls.
Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this one, a lady after my own heart. I'm a stringing and linking girl, and this one's taken linking to extremes, really. And this is from Andrew Saunders. It says, hi there, all you lovely people at JM. This is my entry for the Wall of Fame. It's a choker and earring set inspired by the Elizabethan period. I've been inspired by this period of history as well as other fashion trends through the centuries. It's made of 1mm copper wire for the main choker band, rosary linked rose quartz and labradorite medium chips with a central pendant of clear quartz facet drops, all put together with 0.6mm wire.
Beautiful. Do you know what I think would go well with these kind of designs, and maybe that's where the inspiration comes from? Those little S-shaped hooks that we launched the show with, the early bird. Yeah. So those almost, they'd fit into
those. You could use them as connectors or as clasps, couldn't you? And something like that.
So yeah, they fit into lots of different periods of history then. Those.
So that was 384 from Andrew Saunders.
There you go. Oh, this is fantastic. This is a bit of wire work and chainmail combined here. This has been sent in by Una in Newcastle. It says, hi all at JM. This week's entry for the Wall of Fame is a piece of boulder opal. I wire wrapped and some rondelles of blue opal to complement the piece, wrapped with antique bronze wire. Everything's from Jewellery Maker. I hope you like it, and good luck to everyone in the draw. Well, it's absolutely beautiful.
Look at that stone. That's amazing, isn't it?
Gorgeous,
looks like a sea horizon.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things I love about boulder opals, those range of colour tones you see. Absolutely fantastic. And perfect pick in terms of the metallic tone that goes with it as well.
Yeah,
that bronze as well. So you are number 387. So good luck to you, Una, as well. We'll be making the draw later in the show, probably around about midday. After the break, we're going to be launching a brand new double deal from our Gems of Distinction range. So these have been put together by our team, our buying team over in India, to put together the Labradorite and the Rainbow Moonstone faceted top drill drop. So great way of getting that sort of optical effect from both gemstones. That's going to be launched after the break, an exclusive price point, and just enough time for me to thank Helen for joining us. You're going to leave us now, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've got to drive back.
In fact, somebody's just texted in for you, Helen.
Oh, really?
Angela, and it says, hi Helen, just received my magazine, bought the kit and love all the Rachel Norris wire work in your magazine. Wish you well, Ed. Angela in Surrey. Yes, I was struggling to read that. That's a lovely text. Thank you so much, Angela. Yes, as I say, Helen is the editor of Beads and Beyond. She's been lovely enough to join us this morning, give us some inspiration, and of course, if you want to get some inspiration from her magazine, then you can find it in all the normal retailers, I believe.
From tomorrow.
From tomorrow, you can get the October edition. Okay, we are going to go to a quick break. When we return, the chance for you to own Labradorite and Moonstone as one deal, so don't go away.
The fastest way to shop with Jewellery Maker is by going to our website. Just click on the sign up button. Once you've filled in the required details, you can start shopping. You can watch the show by clicking the Watch Live button on the front page. You can also use our Refine tool and narrow down your search. Once you've found an item that you like, just simply click on the Buy Now button and the item will be added to your basket. Don't forget you can add as many items to your basket per day and still only pay 1 P&P. Enjoy shopping with Jewellery Maker. If for any reason you're not satisfied with your purchase, you have the benefit of our no quibble 30-day money-back guarantee. Just complete the returns form enclosed with your goods and send them back for a full refund.
We all know having the right tools for the job is important, so we here at Jewellery Maker have designed a toolkit which includes all your essential pliers for jewellery making, including round nose and flat nose pliers, wire cutters, as well as a bead reamer, snips and tweezers. You've got everything you need for just $9.95. We provide the tools, you provide the skills. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
If you're new to Jewellery Maker, simply contact our call centre and we'll send you a tutorial DVD and Get Started booklet, all free of charge.
If you have a question or query for Jewellery Maker, then you can contact our call centre on 0800 644 655 and press option 2. Or alternatively, you can email help@jewellerymaker.com.
Did you know that the Jewellery Maker phone number is free from a UK landline? Now you can spend those extra pennies on more shopping.
Get involved with Jewellery Maker by sending the studio a message during our live hours. You can send a text to 60777 and start your message with JM Studio, or alternatively, go to our website and click on Watch the Live Show, simply type your message into the box and press send. Make sure you stay tuned in case your message is read out. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. My name's Ed. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I'll just clarify this just in case anybody is just tuning in now and you don't know the story. Basically, I had a little bit of a crash on the way here to the studios on Sunday, and that's why I've got plasters all over my head, so my apologies. It doesn't look particularly attractive, but it's just getting better now. So we're going to launch a brand new item. This is a premiere for us this morning, and it's actually a brand new concept for our buying team over in Jaipur. Now, this is the premier location for gemstone trading across the globe, and I mean, the quality of the gemstones is out of this world. They're just totally spectacular, both in terms of the way they've been cut and the colour saturation, as well as the depth of the optical effect. I'm just going to pick up the Labradorite for 1 second and show you this. There might be new buyers watching this morning who have never experienced this optical effect before. It's known as Labradorescence. This gemstone is Labradorite. It's our favourite gemstone here at Jewellery Maker. It's been voted as our favourite gemstone to work with by our viewers for the last 2 years. Of course, we are approaching the end of the year, so we'll have another award ceremony coming soon, so you'll be able to cast your vote before too long. One of the reasons I think Labradorite wins that sort of category year on year is this optical effect, because more often than not when we see a gemstone exhibiting this, it does, I think, put it into perspective just what is going on within genuine gemstones. You know, this is quite a simple scientific effect, but it's almost awe-inspiring once it's set into a jewellery design. Actually, because you've got the top drill drops here, and because they're quite sizable, they range in size from 5x4 to 9x6, I would say that you could easily use these, maybe the larger one as a pendant, and then pick 2 of them daintier cuts as your matching droplet style earrings. They're going to attract so much attention. You don't have to put a lot of work into the design itself. Still going to attract a lot of attention, because when people see that play of colour coming from inside the gemstone, that's what's going to capture their imagination. That's what's going to make them fall in love with the idea of owning Labradorite. A lot of people tell me that the reason it's their favourite gemstone is that their Labradorite designs always sell, because people see it, they fall in love with it, and they purchase your designs. Here you've got a huge array of colour coming from the Labradorescence itself, not just those traditional blues, although you have got sort of sky blues here. Can you see those? You've got electric blues coming through, as well as your sort of lime greens, your golden tones, even sort of apricot hues coming through as well. So huge array of colour tones and fantastic Labradorescence. Sometimes we find it difficult to actually display the Labradorescence on screen because of our studio lighting, but we're not having that problem this morning because the quality of the Labradorite is so incredible. And of course, as we've expanded as a company, thanks to your loyal custom, and of course thanks to our links with Gemstone suppliers, being part of the Genuine Gemstone company, it has allowed us to negotiate the most competitive prices on the market, but also to try and find the highest possible quality we can for you as jewellery makers. Beautiful gemstone here in Labradorite, and then another gemstone which actually features a very similar optical effect known as adularescence, available here in your Rainbow Moonstone. And I have seen a couple of little rainbows coming through, so full spectrums of colour inside these gemstones. I mean, again, more traditionally you're going to see the blues and the greens. This is actually, again, this is to do with your eyes more than anything else. Blue travels faster than the other colours, that's why you see it first, but there are little spectrums of colour in there, little rainbows. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you again. Our studio lighting doesn't always make it easy, but you can see the little rainbow. I've just moved it in the wrong direction. There we go. I can see a rainbow. See a rainbow too. So Rainbow Moonstone, and of course here you're dealing with a birthstone. In fact, my birthstone. In fact, I'm wearing this stone. I've just realised. I told you I've had a bang on the head. I forgot. So there you go. I'm actually wearing this gemstone. It's my birthstone. I'll try and find. There you go. See that? So it is quite awe-inspiring, as you say, because you've got those optical effects. Very, very easy to work with the top drill drops, because you can create those very traditional matching sets of jewellery. This is a big seller for people who are attending craft fairs, because whenever somebody falls in love with a gemstone and the piece of jewellery, of course, they're always going to want to add on the earring, the matching earring design to that order as well. Lots of people already coming through at JewelleryMaker.com. If you are placing this item in your basket, you need to check out, to avoid disappointment, Labradorite and Moonstone together here. As I say, you don't have to pick one. These are both coming to you from our Gems of Distinction range, our elite range of gemstones here at Jewellery Maker. But whenever we're dealing with top quality gemstones like this, we're essentially jewellery quality gemstones that I would be happy to see set into 9-carat gold. You know that not only are you going to be able to make your money back on these particular items, but also you're dealing with top quality gemstones that might set you apart from other jewellery makers out there, maybe crafters who are traditionally working with more affordable items. This will help you potentially to achieve higher price points when you're selling your designs, or certainly to justify the price point that you want to achieve, because you're offering people not only a genuine gemstone, but a gemstone which is actually adding something to the design itself in terms of that optical phenomenon. 95 carats of Labradorite and Moonstone as part of this particular deal. It does come in your little presentation box. There might be people out there who are just looking to add these gemstones to their personal collection. You might have no intention of creating jewellery designs, but I think once you get them in your hands, you're going to want to wear them to show them off every day. Lots of people getting involved, and we do have an exclusive launch price for you this morning. Congratulations to everybody coming through at JewelleryMaker.com. $34.95 for both strands this morning. So you don't have to pick one. You're going to get 2 Gems of Distinction strands here, Labradorite, faceted top drill drops, and the same cut of your Rainbow Moonstone for just $34.95. The droplets do range in size, 5x4, ranging up to 9x6. So again, perfect for creating those sets of jewellery. Just $34.95. What are we talking about there? £17.50 per strand? It's absolutely ridiculous. But upon saying those numbers, my producer said, oh, that doesn't sound right, let's take them both under 15. You know what it is? It's the blue colours in the Labradorescence and the Adulorescence. Again, if you are a new viewer, you might not be aware of this, but producer D is obsessed with blue. She loves blue gemstones, and she's even got a blue drink, she said, in her hand. What's a blue drink? What are you drinking? Windoline? I don't know. Oh, a sugary drink, I suppose. $29.95. That is an exclusive price point that will only be available until 9 AM tomorrow morning. Don't forget, you do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you get them home and they don't do everything you want them to do within your designs, you can send them back. But I don't think we're going to get too many returns when people see the quality of the Labradorite and the Rainbow Moonstone here. Probably more so the Rainbow Moonstone, because I almost feel like we're a little bit desensitized now, because we do see a lot of Labradorite on the channel and we always see that Labradorescence. I almost feel like people expect to see this depth of colour within their Labradorescence, but we always find it a little more difficult to show you the optical phenomenon within Rainbow Moonstone, because it's a more subtle gemstone, because it's a clearer tone. Obviously it's easier for our studio lights to saturate it a little, and we don't necessarily get the effects of the Adulorescence. When you actually see these little flashes of colour within the gemstone, it'll make you realise what you've been missing out on if you haven't used this previously. As I say, might well lead to greater sales as well. When people have a birthstone which offers them this optical phenomenon, they're always more keen to have it in their collection. That's my experience. It might not be true, because I suppose if your birthstone is, if your birthday's this month, then sapphire's your birthstone, so you're probably pretty keen to own that actually. So that might not be the case, but certainly from a male perspective, I think it's easier to invest in your birthstone if it offers you a really impressive optical phenomenon. I certainly have got it in my collection, as I've just shown you. It's a little bit frustrating actually, because I'm seeing the little flashes of blue coming through on screen of the Rainbow Moonstone, but there are genuine little rainbows living inside. Did we get one there? I think I almost caught the spectrum of colour there, the little rainbow. I can see, do you know what? Have I caught it there? As I say, it will be a little bit distorted because of our studio lighting, but you don't need to worry about that. When you see these in the flesh, you are going to fall in love with these gemstones and the effect that you see. And of course, gemstones are going to always prefer that one focused light source. So when the light enters the gemstone, that's actually what happens here, because you've got different layers of elements within the gemstone, travels at different speeds. It's almost as though the light is bouncing around inside the gemstone. It creates this optical effect known as Labradorescence or Adulorescence. Just $29.95 for both strands this morning. So that's less than £15 per strand for genuine gemstones. And actually, do you know what? You could just create earring designs here, because they're all paired up on the strand itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You could create 15 pairs of Labradorite earrings. Let's say if you're using sterling silver findings, maybe keep them fairly affordable, £10 a pair. It's quite a nice round figure for people to part with at a craft fair. They're going to fall in love with the gemstone instantly. So potentially £150 worth of profit on this particular strand. And then you can do the same on there. I'll just check, in fact. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pairs of this strand of Rainbow Moonstone. Now these are guesstimations. They're always measured in terms of carat weights, your gemstones, so I can't guarantee you'll be able to make 17 pairs. You might get 16, 15, but of course if that's the case, you're offering your customers even larger carat weights in the gemstones, so that can be a consideration for a lot of your customers, so that might end up being an even greater benefit. $29.95, an exclusive launch for us here this morning on Jewellery Maker of Labradorite and Rainbow Moonstone together. in this little presentation box, and this morning you can add them to your order for $29.95. Of course, at 9 AM tomorrow morning you can expect to pay $34.95. So that's just a little treat for everybody getting involved in the launch of that particular item. Already around about half the stock's been allocated, so if you do want to get involved, please be dialing that free phone number. If you've placed them in your basket, then please make sure you check out to avoid disappointment. We're now going to move on because we want to get as much value and as many deals into the show as possible. And of course, all jewellery makers are going to have the different disciplines that they focus on, but they're also probably going to have different relationships with gemstones. And of course, some people prefer to work with the sort of faceted, dainty top drill drops. Other people prefer a more gem heavy look, and these are certainly going to add into those kind of designs. On top of that, you've got this very dramatic look from the jet black tone that you get on your agate here, which provides you with this effect. This, I think it's synonymous with sort of sophistication and elegance, that beautiful luster, where it's almost like a mirror-like reflection when the light hits the surface of the gemstone. Beautiful for those elegant pieces of evening wear, I think. Maybe monochrome designs, these would look very beautiful. And of course, on this particular strand, you've got quite a dynamic shape and cut because you've got the cubes. Absolutely fantastic. Now these are 10 mil in dimension, so they are going to be quite a significant look. Again, you could potentially use them in asymmetrical designs. I'm thinking charms for some reason. I just think you get such a huge impact from the gemstones that you wouldn't need to use a great deal of them in your designs. So for some reason I've got charms in my mind. Actually, do you know what I quite like to do? This might sound a bit silly, but I would buy a pot of Tipex and make little reverse dice. I think those will look good as charms.
You could do that with gemstones if you've got the...
that's what I really wanted to know.
If you've got the F colour.
Yes, of course.
What you could do is try, I don't know how easy it would be, maybe with something like a toothpick to put little dots onto the gemstone. If you don't get it right, you can just brush it off and start again.
Take it off,
but because it's a gemstone, you'll be able to put it in the oven.
Yeah.
And you'd only need to get it to about the same heat that you do polymer clay.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to pop that into, I mean, you could put it on your stove as well.
Yeah.
It would just take a little longer because the gemstone would need to heat up from the bottom. And you'd be able to
that's a
do that
great
on each of the
idea,
sides
actually,
if you wanted to. And you know, in the starter kit for the colours, you get white in there, so you might be able to do that with those.
That's a great idea.
And that won't come off then.
No, I was going to say.
Scratch off or anything.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking, because you get so many gemstones here, it's a double trouble deal. You can be a bit more experimental. You can try to embellish even gemstones.
And these work brilliantly. These shapes, if you do the right-angled weave with them. So things like, if you try and do a beady bead with them, it comes out and it just looks completely different because it's not a round bead. So it's got those round edges, but it just has a completely different look. And with all that luster coming off all of the sides of the gemstone, anywhere you can get more angles on it almost, you get even more luster coming from them.
Play of light from every considered angle, so that's perfect. And that is one of the things which I think is making this shape so popular in current fashion trends. I see a few different designers on the high street using these more dynamic shapes like your cubes and the sharp angles as well, and of course you can create those using your wire techniques, of course. So this is a double trouble deal, so huge carat weight of gemstones here, 800 carats in total, so 400 carats on each strand. Very, very impressive, and they're already flying out the door. As you'd expect, we're very, very busy this morning. We've already seen some inspirational designs from the editor of Beads and Beyond magazine, Helen, and now we've got the lovely Sara here providing us with inspiration. So we're spoiling you this morning, and we're about to do it at the price point. Wow, $9.95 for 800 carats of black agate. I think the jet black gemstones are probably an essential for most jewellery makers, actually, because you know, once again, you've got that neutrality from your base colour, so you know it's going to work with any other gemstone. I always think pinks and blacks are rather gorgeous. They almost look quite dramatic, don't they? Fantastic, that is the combination. Now this is a brand new strand of Morganite coming up later in the show, one of my favourite gemstones. And Maureen's texted in to say, hi Sarah and Paulie Ed, can I use these for gents jewellery? Absolutely. I'm going to I'm going to beat Sarah to the punch there and say that, speaking from experience, I would wear these.
Definitely, they're going to lend themselves to being really beautiful cufflinks. They're going to lend themselves to being worn around the neckline. If you've got any of your leather cords, maybe you want to add these to some of the flat leather cords or the satin cords we've had recently. You can do so much with them, and you need just a few for gentlemen's jewellery because they are quite substantial. Possibly I would be looking at putting maybe some, if you've got some of the copper tone spacer beads in between them for a gent's piece, or if you've got any of the wooden beads, they would look amazing with these as well.
Thank you, Sarah. I went through to the gallery to try and find my black agate cufflinks that are in my bag, and it's in the dressing room. So not only did I walk across the camera and get in trouble, but I haven't got the cufflinks to show you anyway. But actually, I've got the some oval shaped black agates in my cufflinks, but I think the cubes would look even better in gents jewellery actually, because you get that
and
dynamism.
You could do them if you've got the, I think these are about the right size, if you've got the ones that have like the double buttonhole.
Yes.
You may find that one of these will actually push through the buttonhole, so you can have a black agate at the front and the back of the design. So you might find that the
Let's find out.
I know, I don't know if they're the right size. They might be a little bit big, but they might go through. It's always hard when you...
It's quite fiddly to do yourself, actually.
It is,
yeah.
and this is what I do when I make cufflinks for gents, is I actually try them on my husband's shirts so that I know that they'll actually fit. There you go.
There you go.
So you could have one of those, literally do a little wire wrap, put a jump ring in the middle, closed jump ring in the middle of your wire wrapping, and then a wire wrap onto the other side, and you'll have a pair of cufflinks that will go through the buttonholes, and will be really secure because you're quite a tight.
I think this is stuck and I'll have to keep
the whole strand.
I would probably use silver wire, do you think? Silver and black always looks
silver and black, but I mean if you want to take it down, that's sort of a little bit more of a sort of antique or industrial feel, you can go with your copper and you can go with your antique bronze. And it just depends on the person you're making for, the gentleman you're making for. My husband wears a lot of silver with his cufflinks, but he also has several pairs of gold cufflinks. So, you know, either way I would be fairly safe that I know he would wear those, whether I use gold wire or silver wire.
Fantastic. Actually, yeah, because black and gold's quite it's a classic combination.
Well, it's quite rich, isn't it? I think the
opulent.
two tones together give that sort of opulent, rich feel, that elegance, and especially if you're going to maybe have these for an evening.
Yeah, it's a black tie event then.
Against a white, crisp shirt, that black and the gold together would look amazing.
I like that. And a clearance price this morning, £5 per strand here, $9.95. It's a double deal, giving you 800 carats of gorgeous black agate cubes. Ooh, now, I have got some exciting news. If it wasn't enough that we were spoiling you with two designers and my almost handsome face, we've also just had a delivery of brand new items arrive at our warehouse, and sales manager Scott is going to be filtering a few treats into the show before 1 PM. I am just being told that some amber has arrived in the building.
Wow.
I don't know what it looks like, I don't know the price, it's literally just arrived from the warehouse, but I'm hearing a lot of gasps of awe in the actual gallery from the producer and director, like, woo. So I imagine it's going to be very, very beautiful. It's coming up very, very soon, but it's just arrived, so I don't know anything about it. I'm going to learn with you, but all I will say is whenever we bring in a brand new item on screen, A, you don't want to miss out. It could be a sellout today, and B, we can give you an exclusive launch price. So some very exciting opportunities still to come, and we're going to move on to another deal. This time your cabochons. Now, oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. We're going to do the cabochons in 1 second. First of all, we're going to give everybody a chance to own these gorgeous jump rings, because these would be perfect for creating those cufflink designs that we just discussed. So here we go. Now these are rose gold. So you've got a quite subtle tone actually. So it's rose gold plated sterling silver. Rose gold itself very versatile. giving you creative opportunities because, of course, it does suit the vintage style designs, but it also adds a little bit of femininity or a little bit of warmth, depending on what design you include it in. If you are interested in a discipline such as chainmail, this would be really, really useful because you get 100 pieces here, another wholesale deal. Of course, we've got our chainmail workshop going on today, and Debbie is next door. There she is, there's the chainmail artists learning from the wonderful Debbie Bolford. Of course though, even if that's not your discipline of choice, you're always going to need your jump rings to add your clasps and fastenings to your necklace and bracelet design. So jump rings pretty much essential for all jewellery makers. And here you've got high end on top of high end, rose gold plated sterling silver. $100 in total, a wholesale deal on your findings. And once again, we've already got interest coming through on the phone lines. These are 7mm in size. And as I say, we've already got a lot of interest. We only have a limited number of this particular bundle because what we've actually done is, I've just realised, are there 50 yellow gold and 50 rose gold? Or is that it? Yeah, they're all rose gold, sorry. The details up there suggested that they might be gold plated, but no, 100 rose gold plated sterling silver jump rings. They all look rose gold, that's why I was getting confused. So here we go, a wholesale deal on your jump rings. If you want to get involved with this deal, you do need to be on the phone lines because we only have a limited number in stock. And here comes your price point. $14.95. Don't forget, you're dealing with precious metals here. So once again, this is your opportunity to potentially justify the price points you want to achieve for your designs, because a lot of the designers and the workshop attendees do tell me that at the craft fairs, people almost expect to pay a premium when they see the words 95 sterling silver. Actually, a lot of designers tell me that people sometimes, when they see 95 sterling silver, think that they're not going to be able to afford your jewellery. So when they actually see that you can create really affordable jewellery but still offering them precious metals, that's when they make the most sales. So it's often when people do have a good understanding of the perceived value of bespoke jewellery that you can make more sales, because of course you're buying everything at wholesale prices from us here at Jewellery Maker, particularly your findings. So here we've got rose gold plated sterling silver, and of course it's 95 sterling silver, and then you've got that rose gold plating on top. So I always describe that as high end on top of high end, and it could be that you know, moving forward, that we find it more difficult to actually provide you with gold plated findings, because gold is a little bit in demand at the moment. The price for, you know, the raw material of gold is actually dropping currently, but in the long run we're expecting to see a decrease in the amount of deposits we find. We haven't found a new deposit of gold for over 2 years, and so we estimate within the industry that we'd only be able to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool to all of the available gold in the world. So as you can see, we are expecting to struggle to get hold of gold. Not us here at Jewellery Maker, I mean as an entire industry. And right now, to offer you rose gold plated sterling silver jump rings for $14.95, very, very impressive, because you get 100 as part of this deal. And there's lots of commotion going on because of our brand new strand of amber has just arrived. We're hoping to bring that to you in around about half an hour or so. So make sure you have your phone in hand and you are ready to add that to your order. Unfortunately, we only have a limited number available, but they are going to be very, very popular. Shall we do the cabochons that we said? Yeah? Okay. Okay, here we go. So we're going to give all of the soutache workers, wire workers, macrame workers. A little treat here in the form of our cabochon deal. Now you get 3 cabochons as part of this particular bundle. Love this. She's got this huge lavender amethyst cabochon here. I'm going to deal with this first actually. It's 40 by 30 millimetres in size, so this is going to be a real feature of, well, it could be used as a pendant I suppose, but you might like to use it in other ways within your designs. Absolutely gorgeous. Maybe the focal point of a bangle or cuff design, that might work beautifully. I love the femininity you've got here as well. The inclusions are actually making this gemstone what it is. It's got that beautiful little swirl of colour through the centre of the gemstone where you can see these feminine lavender tones on the outer edge, but through the centre you've got that more traditional regal purple tone there. So I really love that cabochon. 60 carats of amethyst in one cabochon alone. Beautiful gemstone, and have a look at this. This has got so much character to it. You're never going to get 2 gemstones the same when you're dealing with examples of fluorite like this. 20 carats of fluorite, and I'm thinking with this one, how about a wirework ring? Because you want people to see that design, don't you? You want people to see that gorgeous banding. And you can see the difference in the photograph there, where you've got that depth of colour, those rich purples and greens, and then you've got a little more clarity on the one that I have in my hand here. You can see, so each and every gemstone totally individual, still offering you that fluorescence, but of course you can prove to your customers that you are dealing with the real deal, because no 2 are going to be the same. A bespoke design no matter what when you're dealing with these cabochons. And then I love this one because it's a slightly different shape, slightly tapered at one end, so you get that traditional teardrop shape if you like. And actually I'll tell you what, how brilliantly would this go with your amber that's coming up in about half an hour. You've got that rich sort of fiery red tone from your agate here, 25 by 18 mil, similar dimensions to the fluorite there, 15 carats of red agate. Actually, you could potentially keep this for the festive period, I suppose, because it's almost a beautiful festive red there. So you get 3 cabochons here, a huge carat weight. What are we talking about here? 95 carats in total, 60 carats on the amethyst alone as part of this particular deal. And I'm just going to grab one design, actually 2, because we've got a great use of cabochons here in a macrame design where the macrame is actually holding the cabochon in place there. That's gorgeous, isn't it? And then have a look at this chainmail setting for your cabochon as well. Absolutely beautiful. That's very regal design, isn't it? So there you go. You've got different ways of integrating your cabochons into your design. Cabochon's actually probably the most traditional gem cutting technique. This is the technique that Lapradorists learned first, actually. It's a polishing technique rather than a cut that you create. And so when I was talking to Glenn Lehrer last time, he is a sort of world-renowned Lapradorist and good friends with, well, the company here, but very good friends with the owner of the company, Steve Bennett. And Glenn Lehrer was saying that he could teach me how to polish a gemstone in 5 weeks. He could show me how to create a cabochon cut, but to master it so that I could do it on any gemstone, it would take me over 5 years. So he's like, I could take you through the process of creating an amethyst cabochon. Within 5 weeks, you'd be able to take an amethyst and create a cabochon. He's like, but then, if I wanted to learn how to do it on a fluorite, I'd have to start all over again, because it's a completely different technique to create this polish and this domed effect on every single gemstone. So a lot of time goes in to actually just learning the techniques that you need to create these cabochons, and then of course we come along and give you ridiculous prices. 95 carats in total. You do get 3 cabochons. You've got your 60 carats of amethyst, your huge fluorite, and this gorgeous red agate. 3 cabochons for $6.95 this morning. Wow. every single design you create with any of these cabochons is going to sell for twice that price, I would have thought, at least, of course.
Crikey, yeah. I mean, to have a focal gemstone like that, of that size, and if you love your real gemstones, like I know lots and lots of people do, to have them of this size and this quality, even if you wanted to just keep these, if you want to set them into jewellery, these are your talking focal points for when you go and do your, you might do presentations about your jewellery, you might do jewellery parties. These are pieces you can then say to people, this is a real amethyst, this is a real fluorite, this is what it looks like, this is what you should be expecting from these gemstones. Talk about the history, talk about the story behind the gemstone, and get people to really love those gemstones, because some of them might be new to them. So if you can talk to them and introduce them to them, then that's a great way to make a sale.
But when you see something like a fluorite that has this very individual banding on the surface of the gemstone, that's something that if you're not, you know, savvy about gemstones, that you might never experience before, you might never have seen. And so you're right. And also, because the cabochons have been polished in this way, then they do have a very sort of tactile feel as well. So it's easy to make people fall in love with gemstones when they feel as nice as they look. Well, an absolutely incredible deal. Some of the most fantastic value you could ever hope to see. If somebody said to me, do you want to buy 60 carats of amethyst for $6.95? Snap their hand off. And like Sarah was saying, these are the kind of items that you can just have almost to sort of dress your set, become talking points for your customers. Always easier to make a sale when you're able to build rapport with your customers, and probably the best way to do that is to have a little sort of visual prompt, if you like, something that people can have a look at and touch and hold and fall in love with in many respects. Actually, if you've got these cabochons on your actual store, like a craft fair, in like a little basket or something, people could actually select it and you could, you know, create bespoke designs while people are at the craft fair. They can select their own gemstone. I mean, given the choice, I think most people are going to plump for 60 carats of amethyst. But actually, like I say, you know, this would be really beautiful as a ring design. And I love that combination of colours that you get in fluorite, the purples and the greens. That's probably my favourite combination of colours. I'm just trying to move out of the way there so you can appreciate the clarity on that particular fluorite.
And the great thing about the size of that amethyst cabochon is if you're wanting to learn to do some of your wire wrapping techniques, get this bundle, because you've got 3 completely different types of gemstone. You've got different shapes and sizes in there. So practice on your amethyst one, which is a little bit larger. Got a little bit more to hold on to. You've got larger spaces in between your prong settings, for instance.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit easier for you to get that technique working for you. And then you can then move on to the other 2, the smaller ones, once you've got the technique, and you'll be flying along, because that amethyst one's just that little bit bigger. It allows you just to almost a practice stone, if you like, for some of the techniques.
It's going to be a bit more forgiving, isn't it? Because
it is.
There's something to hold on to when you are sutage or macrame or whatever it is.
Yeah, you've got a little bit more there, whereas then you've refined the technique down, and you can do it on a smaller scale very easily with the other 2 cabochons you've got. So I just think that's great. I mean, that's the sort of size of gemstone I first wire wrapped.
Right,
was that sort of size, because I wanted something that was a little bit easier for me to hold on to while I was trying to get the wire wrapped around it and do the prongs. This
gemstone is almost like your wire work stabilisers, if you like, because it's larger size. You can really sort of master the technique with something like this. It's
like anything, I suppose. If you're that lapidrist learning to cut a cabochon, you're going to start with a bigger gemstone because you've got more. It's easier to hold against the lapidary wheel and things like that than to do all the techniques on, and then you're going to progress to doing those smaller ones.
Unbelievable. There you go. $6.95. This is how we flex our value muscles here at Jewellery Maker. We're able to offer you these prices because we're part of the Genuine Gemstone Company. So we've been dealing with the same gemstone suppliers and mine owners for nearly 10 years now as part of our company, and in many cases we actually own the mines ourselves. So we know everything's ethically mined for and sourced, and of course we're able to give you the best possible deals on the market. Just $6.95 for some ridiculous carat weights there. Congratulations to Georgina. She snapped up 4 of that particular bundle, so that's the way to do it. Maximise on your 1 P&P per day. Now, we've got a little bit of a new delivery coming through from our warehouse, so things are literally being unpacked as we speak, and as they do, they are hitting the airwaves. This is one that's come straight to screen, and it is a rather fantastic array of head pins. These are fantastic in terms of the little quirky designs that you've got on the head of the pin. So these can become features of your designs. These are the 4 different shapes. You get 50 of each. 200 in total. Love these. So you've got the circle, the little 3-leaf clover, the triangle, and the almost little like berry-like shape, if you like, or it's a little heart, I suppose, if it's that way around, isn't it? Is that right? Is it a little heart, do you think? I see it as a heart, but maybe that's just my eyes.
Little swirly heart.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, 4 very individual, very characteristic shapes on the head of the pin itself, and you get 50 of each shape, so 200 head pins in total. The other benefit I think that you're going to get from these head pins is that they are massive. They're very, very long. So you have got the sort of arrow-shaped head pin there, that's 6mm. You've got the round eye pin that's also 6mm. The the 3 rounds are, it says that head is 9mm in size, and I think this one's around about 6mm as well. So there you go. Actually, do you know what? You could almost use that as a little Cupid's arrow as well, couldn't you? So that'd be good. The length of the head pins itself, very impressive. 56mm in length, except for the little 3 head, or the little clover-shaped head pin, which is actually 59mm in size. So you've got a lot to play with there. Those are going to go through some of the largest gemstones that we actually stock here at Jewellery Maker. Still give you a little bit of play on the head pins themselves. 200 in total, 50 of each design. Your circle, your arrowhead, your clover, and your little heart there. And, as ever, an exclusive launch price. If you want to get involved, start dialing that free phone number, $10.95 for 200 head pins this morning. These are silver-plated copper. That's actually quite useful because you've got the base metal there that's going to be a little bit more robust, a little bit more forgiving, but you've still got the high-end finish there that people associate with luxury jewellery design in terms of the silver plating. So 200 head pins in total, 50 of each design for just $10.95. Very, very impressive. So I'm just thinking that works out at about what, 5.1p per head pin or something like that, and these are silver plated copper here as well for that kind of price point. Unbelievable. It's a brand new deal to us this morning. Could be a case of here today, gone today. So if you do need to stock up on your head pins and you want items that are going to add to the designs and show a level of attention to detail, $10.95 for 200 head pins. Very, very impressive. Don't forget, 1 P&P per day. So if you've already been inspired by maybe one of the kits, $200 in total for $10.95. Lots and lots of people getting involved with this deal. If you do want to add those to your order, you know what to do. Dial the free phone number or click to buy now at JewelleryMaker.com. And of course, if you are placing items in your basket, you need to check out to avoid disappointment. Congratulations to everybody coming through who's multi-buying this deal. That's the way to do it, isn't it? When you see a wholesale opportunity on an essential item, especially if it is essential, but it adds to your design, because you can imagine these are going to actually add a little bit of character to your designs, maybe take them in a slightly different direction once you see the different shapes on the head pins. And of course, I always think the most interesting designs are when people have maybe, you know, thought outside the box a little bit, been a bit more experimental, and they've been able to sort of integrate the findings into designs in a slightly different way. A good example of that is when sort of Deb Rudge used the ribbon cord ends to create the shoulders on the ring designs, for example. And so I think when you've got these little shapes inside your head pins, you can actually use that as a feature of the design. I'm sure that the cogs are already turning for many jewellery makers this morning, especially as I see how many of you are coming through on the free phone number. So congratulations if you are adding those to your order. I can see that those are going to enhance your designs beautifully. We are now going to move over to see what Sarah's been creating, is that right? This will actually be our second kit of the morning. We've got an extra kit today because in the first hour of the show we were joined by Helen, the editor of Beads and Beyond magazine. So she put one kit together for us. We've already seen one display. And looking at this, I'm thinking Sarah had a hand in putting this together.
I didn't actually. It was a complete surprise, but it was lovely to get.
You got all these purples.
Yes, I'm just going to turn that one round because I was looking at it. There you go. Yeah, I got all these purples, pinks, and fantastic pearls.
This is a very contemporary looking kit actually. You can see this working for...
I mean, it just depends
teenage style designs.
Which way you want to put it together, because you can go really classic and just keep, or you know, your maybe your amethyst and your pearls together.
Yes, true.
And then you can go sort of a much sort of younger,
funky looks,
on trend sort of vibe with this sort of the braided and using the suede cords and things like that, and maybe using that hot pink. But they work beautifully together. They just are a fantastic combination of colours.
Love it.
And I love the way that they all just sit. And you've got such different shapes. You've got the rondelles, and then you've got the teardrop shapes, and then you've got that natural, organic shape from the pearls coming through.
They're fantastic, the pearls, aren't they? These are gorgeous. They're peacock pearls, almost reminiscent of the finish you get on a Tahitian pearl. That sort of swirl of colour there with the petrol blues and the purples and the greens. Absolutely fantastic combination, especially with the amethyst in particular. But actually, when you put it alongside the hot pink gemstones there, it's picking up on that, and you get it via the pearlescence. You always get a sort of pink tone there as well. So these are your peacock pearls, and they are 7x6mm in size, Baroque pearls. So you've got that slightly irregular finish, showing your customers once again that these are the real deal, a beautiful organic mineral. Then you've got the hot pink tone coming from your pink coated quartz here. Now these are plain drops. They range from 6 to 9mm in size, but they're not quite as tapered. They're a little bit broader, so a slightly different look than we've seen on some of our other droplets this morning. And then you've got over 50 carats of amethyst here. Again, you've got that sort of lavender tone rather than the really intense regal tone, so it's a little more feminine to my eye. They range in size from 4x1 to 7x3, and you've got those little wheel shapes there on terms of your amethyst. So February's birthstone there, and yeah, the combination of the pearls and the amethyst together is spectacular. Love that. That's really sort of classic, isn't it? And then of course, if you want to give it a contemporary twist, you can add that hot pink in. So those are your 3 strands of gemstones, and you do also get your essential findings, and this time we are giving you the gold plated copper, so you get a metre of chain, 3 different kinds of head pins, your ribbon cord endings. Oh, you get more of those fancy earring findings, the almost leaf shaped ones, the shepherd hooks, the toggle clasps, the jump rings, the crimp beads and the crimp bead covers. It was part of 115 pieces of gold plated copper there. Traditional threading materials in the form of your beading thread, your monofilament and your elastic, but we've also added in your suede cord. Leatherette cord, sorry. What's wrong with me this morning? Leatherette cord, and here you've got your fuchsia, your amethyst purple, your black, and your sort of tanzanite blue tone as well. And you get a metre of each. You do. They're 2x1mm in diameter, so lots of extra threading materials there. If you do enjoy the braiding techniques, this would be perfect for you. And this is the one I like. Is that quite a difficult weave to do?
Very easy. Very easy. It's an alternating half hitch. Very, very, very quick and easy. But just because you're using a different threading material, it looks completely different. And I love the way that the colours just sort of jump across on top of sort of, you get like a V shape from each colour as it moves down the braid. It's beautiful.
I like it as well because it's almost mirroring the colours you see in the pearl.
It is.
I like the fact that it's not quite, you know, not quite the same depth, so you get the little colour pop from the actual threads, and then you've got the classic look from the pearls. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just, you know, just creating a braided bracelet which you could leave, and then just adding a few, you know, you can add a few gemstones on there, so little charms hanging down. These could, you know, if you know, pearls are one of your birthstones, if you're a June baby, you know, that could be something you want to, you just add there for, you know, or if you just love the pearls, I just love that bracelet. It's just something you could wear with so many different outfits, and it's just quite a statement piece, but it's quite soft and delicate as well.
Absolutely fantastic. You created quite a large suite of jewellery then here, 8 pieces in total.
I know, and I was really gem heavy with the necklace at the end there.
Yeah, this one.
So, you know, I could have made more if I hadn't have gone to town.
This is a nice little feature in your design. I like this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the pink gemstone, which is a little bit more of a sort of shocking pink as opposed to the more subtle colours you've got in the pearls.
Yes.
It becomes the feature and it draws the eye to the design.
That's it.
And it's almost an eye-like design, actually.
That's it. That's what I was going for.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'm happy with that. No, this is really on trend. I was reading a magazine the other day. It says eyes are really
it's kind of
big thing.
It's kind of a common sort of joining of the protective eye, which is sort of from, or the evil eye as they call it, you know, the protective eye from Greece, and also the Egyptian Eye of Horrocks. It's kind of got that's the two sort of influences
two different
merging.
ancient civilizations coming together there. I like that.
So, you know, it's, you know, but you can make so many different things with those earring findings. I don't often use them as earring findings at all.
Funnily enough, you know, Helen was saying to use them as leaves in her necklace design, wasn't she? So this is, and I was just saying, it's best if you can think outside the box and be a bit more experimental with your finds and make a feature of them in your designs. You don't just have to be very stringent in how you use these in your designs. So is that what you're going to show us, actually?
I am. I'm going to show you how to do that.
Great. Okay.
It's really...
Oh, I just realised, because there's so many people coming down the phone lines, I thought, everybody already knows the price? We haven't even unveiled the price.
Got to have the price.
$24.95. It is proving to be very, very popular, actually, and I've just noticed the name. I was so enamoured by the gemstones on this. I realised it does have quite an 80s vibe. Yeah, it does, I suppose, because of that pink tone as well, especially.
Yeah, but there's so many things that are sort of, you know, coming back towards that 80s sort of style. So if you like the hot pinks, which I absolutely love wearing hot pink anyway, but I can't often get away with it as a full item of clothing.
Right.
I think age is catching up with me now. I've been a bit more sensible. But you know, you can incorporate those, you know, the colours you love in your jewellery.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I wear lots of this sort of hot pink jewellery and things like that, and I just love it. And if you want to really go to town and take that colour and really run with it, if you've got any of the baby pink or fuchsia wire, you might want to do some wire wrap designs with these gemstones and really bring those colours in. But with having all of the threading material, you've got that hot pink and that sort of blue in there to be able to sort of bring all those colours together, which is lovely.
I love the combination of the black and the pink as well.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay, so the intended price of this kit was $24.95. Everybody else has come through at $24.95. Don't panic. Everyone's now going to pay the same final low price of just $21.95, and that's the equivalent of handing you back your P&P this morning on this particular kit. So if you'd already got involved, then a risk-free shopping experience. Simply dial the free phone number and you can add that to your order. As I say, if you've already got involved, don't panic. Everyone will pay the same final low price. You'd be hard pushed to get the pearls elsewhere for $21.95. Incredible deal. And should we find out how we're going to create this beautiful pendant design?
It's very, very, very easy. And I just, with my findings, all I do is I have my beading tray or my beading mat in front of me, and I will put my findings out and I'll just look at the shapes and decide what I want to do with them. So these ones ended up that I had one facing with the eyelet at the top, and one facing with the eyelet at the bottom, and I just literally put them on top of each other, and I thought, oh, actually, that looks like an eye shape. So I literally just had it like that, and I thought, oh, that's it. That's kind of an eye shape, an Egyptian sort of feel to it. So that's how I literally started the whole process. So what you do is you use your featherweight head pins to be able to wire wrap this together. I don't know if you can see those. They're so lovely. They're like having 0.4 mil wire in your kit. And all I do is straighten mine out with my flat pliers, and to anchor it, I leave the ball on the bottom of the head pin, and I take it through the eye of the finding. And what I'm aiming to do is I'm just going to wrap the tail. Can you see I've got a little tail with the ball still on there, and I'm just going to wrap that around the finding. And because I've anchored it through the loop, it won't slide down the finding. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer the other half of the finding to that wire. So I've got it sort of in the eye shape. Don't panic at this point, and all I'm going to do is take that under and wrap it through the loop. I'm going to take it around and wrap it on to the top, because what I want to do is to A, stop this moving, but B, also to stop it from sliding around. And don't worry if your wire work is not particularly neat, because you won't see this bit really, because it's such a fine head pin. So I've got one wrapped on, and I've still got a tail there because I want to leave that. If I hold that, you see I've got one wrapped on. I've done exactly the same on the other side, so anchored it on through the loop, and I'm just going to take that around and start anchoring the other side on, and go around your loop and back through and just anchor it together. And once this is done, you'll be able to have a little play around with the shape. You see that shape starting to form. There we go. So I'm quite happy with that shape. So what I would do is just take my tails and finish them off, do a little bit more wrapping and go over and over, and that will neaten it up for you. But I need to attach a little eye into the centre of it. So because they're top drilled gemstones, a lot of people struggle with these. It's one of those, because it's got the drill hole running from left to right as opposed to top to bottom. Some people struggle to use those and find them a little bit difficult. Again, I'm using one of my featherweight head pins, and I've just straightened it out and added my gemstone to the centre of it, and I haven't again cut the ball off one end. I've just left that on because I find it's a bit easier to hold on to the actual wire of the head pin if I've left that on. Gives you more purchase. It does. Yeah. So I'm just going to take both ends and fold them up. So all I'm doing is folding that up and crossing them over. Can you see that? There's a little cross in there. And all I'm going to do is pinch that and twist it. That's it. That's anchored in there. So if I wanted to use that for an earring, I could then put a loop on there, and that would be my anchor for my earring. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to my finding, take one of the tails around, oops, get under there, and take it through that loop and just start to anchor that on. And don't worry, if you want to do it with one end where it's a little bit freer, you can, because you'll be able to slide this back up. So I'm literally using my pliers, wire wrap that up, and do exactly the same on the other side. You can see already, I haven't quite finished that off, but you can see already that will slide in the middle there, and once that's anchored on, use your flat pliers and just crimp it together, and that will stop it from sliding around the finding. And then all I did was add some jump rings onto the two loops which are already there as part of your finding, and then start making my gemstone links with my eye pins, or my head pins, which I turn to eye pins, and use the chain to create quite a, I don't know, designer feel to me. Think so. It's unusual, and because the findings that you're using, the earring findings, are of a heavier gauge wire, they don't have any sharp ends, and because they've been made to fit through the ear, they are all finished off. So these ends that are on your eye, I've had this piece on, so I know that it's very, very comfortable to wear, and they don't. They just sit beautifully on the neckline. So, and you could put a little loop on the end of those if you wanted to, on the end of each one, if you were worried that they might do anything. But it's just really, really easy to wear. Amazing. Well, there you see, a fantastic design from Sarah, and if you want to add this kit to your order, it's just $21.95. Again, absolutely fantastic array of gemstones there. The pink coated quartz, the gorgeous lavender amethyst, and those peacock pearls.
coming to you as part of this kit for just £21.95. So we've had a little bit of 80s inspiration there from the kit and some fantastic inspiration from Sarah. Right now, time for you to provide us with some inspiration on the Wall of Fame. Welcome back to the Wall of Fame, your opportunity to have your design shown live on Jewellery Maker. And Sarah's going to kick us off.
Well, if you've got the first kit today, this is right up your street, 388. And this is from Monique, and she's in Redditch. Just hilarious. She says, hi Jewellery Maker, this is my entry for the Wall of Fame. A tiger's eye bracelet using a 25 by 18mm puffy oval and small puffy ovals. The tiger's eye are from Jewellery Maker and the finds are all from her stash. And that's from Monique in Redditch. Isn't that lovely? I love that. It's just beautiful, just perfect for the season coming up. Oh,
love that.
Love it.
Actually, this is quite similar to a lot of the things we saw from the first kit this morning as well, because it's similar colours. Actually, might go along with that amber coming up at midday, so don't miss out on that deal. This is number 391. It's coming from Pauline. It says, hi all you lovely peeps at Jewellery Maker. This is my entry for the Wall of Fame this week. It's a mix of Kumahimo and a wire weave spiral pendant with carnelian. Really enjoying the shows, and they get better week by week. The product range now is, well, exceptional. Love to you all and good luck to everyone. From Pauline. Speaking to you at number 391. Congratulations and good luck for the draw.
I think somebody might have been watching Michelle, because we've got some wirework writing here, which is 389. And this is from Kathleen, and she's in Carlisle. She says, hello ladies and gentlemen. After watching Michelle on Sunday afternoon, it inspired me to try some wire work. I have had this copper wire in my stash for quite a while, wondering what I might use it for, as it was 1.25mm copper wire. And she's also used leatherette cord and a magnetic clasp, all from Jewellery Maker. Aren't they lovely?
They're gorgeous, yeah.
And
I love
fantastic, because it's quite tricky when you first start doing these words, and you've absolutely nailed it. Lovely.
Here we go. I've got number 392. Some more wire work here.
Yes.
Some sort of classic bangle designs. This week's Wall of Fame are 2 bangles and a ring using Labradorite and onyx for the bangle and crackle quartz for the ring. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Laura Binding for her design inspiration last week. I used what I had in my stash and started playing after watching her instruction. Love to you all, Anne-Marie in Somerset. Oh, it seems to have worked out rather well, doesn't it?
Lovely, yes.
There you go, beautiful part of the world as well. I've just been to Somerset this summer, actually, nice place.
I've got 390, another wirework inspired piece, and this is from Barbara. She says, hello you lovely people. My Wall of Fame entry this week has already sold. So pleased how it turned out. Used twisted gold and silver wire from Jewellery Maker and then coiled it. Added cobalt blue crystals from her stash and some pearls from Jewellery Maker. Could do with a win, but good luck to all. Best wishes from Barbara. Isn't that lovely? And gone already. Amazing.
Fantastic. That's the beauty.
Got a
Once
new
people
home.
Start to notice your designs, you'll be snapping them up before you've even completed them. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to launch another premiere strand of gemstones. This time, one of my favourites, gorgeous Morganite, one of the most feminine gemstones on the planet. And, of course, we're going to give you an exclusive launch price. Don't forget, coming up in less than an hour, amber at midday. Just arrived in the building. You're not going to want to miss out on that deal, and you don't want to miss out on the Morganite either. 1 p.m. per day. So we're going to go to a quick break, and you will find out what's coming up over the next few days here on Jewellery Maker.
When shopping with Jewellery Maker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay 1 postage and packaging charge. We have 2 delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
Jewellery Maker ships to the following countries. We offer 2 delivery services, standard and premium. So wherever you are in the world, Jewellery Maker are never far away. Jewellery Maker have an extensive range of DVDs for all abilities. Each of our mediums has an introductory DVD to help you get started. If you're already an experienced jewellery maker, we have a collection of projects and more advanced DVDs to take your designs to the next level. We are always filming new DVDs with our specialist guest designers, so visit our website for more information.
Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. My name's Ed. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you are just tuning in, I had a little bit of an accident on the way to studios on Sunday, and that's why I've got my head all bandaged up. So ignore that and focus on how beautiful the gemstones are. Of course, here at Jewellery Maker, we are part of the Genuine Gemstone Company. And so we have been building up very long-standing relationships with our gemstone suppliers over the last 10 years or so. On many occasions, we will go direct to source to get hold of our gemstones, and some occasions we actually own the mine ourselves. That's how we're able to bring you such fantastic quality gemstones at such ridiculous price points. Now, here we're dealing with one of the most luxurious, feminine and prestigious gemstones available on the planet. Originally exclusively sold by Tiffany's when it was first discovered, and it was discovered by a man named George Frederick Kunz, who also discovered Kunzite. He named Kunzite after himself, and Morganite he named after his benefactor, J.P. Morgan. He's synonymous with the banking group, and he funded his gemstone expeditions, and therefore when he discovered this gorgeous variety of beryl, it does come from the beryl family, he named it after his good friend J.P. Morgan. And I have to say, whenever you hear of a gemstone being exclusively sold by Tiffany's, it almost instantly increases the gravitas of the gemstone itself. Think about something like Tanzanite. Pretty much had a similar sort of journey into the gemstone world, discovered into the 1960s, and already one of the most prestigious gemstones on the planet. Morganite, again, doesn't have a very long history attached to it. It was actually discovered in 1910 by Frederick Kunz. And so the beauty of a gemstone that doesn't have that same heritage, I think, is that you know that you're getting ethically sourced gemstones, because there hasn't been the time allowed for sort of dubious trade links to build up. There was already a very established gemstone industry when this was discovered, and therefore you know when you're dealing with a gemstone like Morganite that it has been ethically sourced. And of course, on this particular strand, you have got a huge carat weight on each and every gemstone. The gemstones themselves range in size from 11 by 7 to 17 by 11, so very, very sizable looks here. Again, perfect for creating those matching sets of jewellery. You might want to make more of a sort of feature piece here if you've been given a personal commission, and include a slightly higher carat weight, because the gemstone itself is so luxurious, so feminine. 85 carats in total of beautiful Morganite, and here, just have a look at the way it's been faceted. As if the gemstone wasn't beautiful enough, it's actually been enhanced by our lapidary work here, because the way it's been faceted is giving you this fantastic play of light, beautiful sparkle from this very, very feminine gemstone. Almost a sort of a pastel pink tone, a baby pink if you like. Actually, I'll tell you what, if you know somebody who's just had a baby and they've had a little girl, just one of these as a pendant design, as a little gift for them, that'd be gorgeous, wouldn't it? So, as I say, a member of the Beryl family, so keeping good company here, rubbing shoulders with the likes of aquamarine and emerald. But this is probably their little baby sister, you would think, given the colour tone. 85 carats in total of Morganite here, a must-have for many gemstone collectors, and I think jewellery makers, this is the kind of gemstone that will inspire your designs. It's got to be a feminine look, surely. I'm thinking rose gold with this as well. Maybe if you got hold of the rose gold connectors early in the show, this would be perfect. Oh, sorry, the copper connectors, but they've got a rose gold tone, of course. And we have brought you the rose gold jump rings as well. So lots of appropriate findings to go with this particular premiere launch this morning. This is going to be your best opportunity to get involved with this particular deal. First time things come to air, of course, on many occasions they do sell out when we're launching them. And of course, we can provide you with an exclusive launch price for 85 carats of Morganite this morning. This does come from our Gems of Distinction range. It represents the highest possible quality we can source for you here at Jewellery Maker. And we're talking about, what, 35p a carat this morning for Morganite. Just $29.95 for 85 carats. Now, for me, I think this is an elite gemstone. You know, anything that's been exclusively sold by Tiffany's. If you think going back, what should we say? Well, if you go back 100 years, you wouldn't have been able to get this unless it came in a little blue box. So that goes to show how far we've come in such a short time. 100 years sounds like a long time, but you know, in the gemstone industry, it's really not a long time. If you think about the sister stone of Morganite, emerald, we've been mining for and trading for emerald for 4,000 years. And this is 100 years old. That's when it was discovered. 1910, sold by Tiffany's in 1911. So as I say, only around about 100 years this has been available for. Benefit of that is that you know your Morganite is ethically sourced, and of course, you know that the industry isn't going to be awash with sort of vintage Morganite designs because they haven't had the time to build up those collections. $29.95, your opportunity to add 85 carats of Morganite to your collection. It just doesn't sort of sit right with me, that particular price point with that carat weight. The reason for that is that a lot of the presenters you'll see on Jewellery Maker do come from quite a traditional background here with the company, and a lot of us started on Gems TV, and so I'm used to selling more like 3 carats of Morganite for £85 rather than 85 carats of Morganite for $29.95. Rather ridiculous. Your opportunity to add that gemstone to your collection, and we're going to move on now to a very appropriate finding. This might well go with your Morganite, actually. Is this the other Essex? Well, fantastic. I just want to have a look at these. Yeah, very similar size. This time, slightly different detailing. A little more subtle here. I think last Essex we saw, which were our early bird, had almost, well, almost like an Aztec style detailing on them, if I show you. That's the way I've seen it, but maybe you can see something different in there. But I think that was going to almost become a feature of the design. It could be a little distracting. This is more of a classic detailing here, rope effect detailing, which of course is associated with quite classic jewellery design. Maybe the sort of nautical looks that are very popular, but vintage style designs often feature this rope effect, sort of beading like metalwork. And again, you've got the oxidisation there on your silver tones, and this is copper here. So you've got sterling silver for your detailing with the oxidisation, and then you've got the copper toe. These are 20 by 12 mil, so about a millimetre smaller than the other ones, 7 millimetres in size, and again, you do get 5 as part of this collection. Now, once again, we are going to be able to provide you with an exclusive launch price this morning. This is going to be your best opportunity to get involved. These are the kind of findings that are going to elevate your designs onto that next level. They're going to inject a little bit of character, a little bit of personality, perhaps, into your designs. and show a real attention to detail on all levels when it comes to your jewellery design. Yes, you're able to work with some of the most prestigious gemstones in the world in the form of Morganite or amber, for example, but I think sometimes it's actually the findings that show people the finish and the standards that you work to, shall we say. In fact, it was Sarah was telling me last week, on many occasions she finds her customers making the decision based on the clasp rather than the design of the gemstones, because I suppose it's a great way to attain the kind of standards that the designer's working to. So these are the kind of items that, as I say, might lead to greater sales. This is going to be an exclusive launch for us this morning, and I'm just being told we're going to give you an even greater price point than we gave you as our early bird option this morning. Already I've got people multi-buying these. We only have a limited number in stock. Under £10, that's £2 per S-hook here. These can be used as connectors or clasps in your designs. You do get 5 in total. So yeah, as I say, less than £2 per connector there. £1.99 per connector, in fact, it works out, doesn't it? Five of these in total for £9.95. Another exclusive launch price for us this morning. And of course, if you do want to get involved with that deal, it is a premiere opportunity. Your chance to add these very beautiful but detailed findings to your order for just £9.95. We've already gone global on this deal, so some of these are heading over to the States. Thanks for joining us this morning, Charity. And anybody else that wants to take advantage of this deal, maybe this could be the way to maximise on your 1 P&P per day. If you've already got an order up and running, of course, you're only ever going to pay 1 P&P per day here at Jewellery Maker. For less than £10, you can add items to your order which are going to enhance the look that you can create when you're putting together your jewellery designs. Now, every single morning when we start the show, we're normally joined by one of our talented designers. This morning, you've been spoilt because you've had 2 guest designers. But what we do is we set them a bit of a challenge. Right now, Sarah's working on the 4mm bundle. So we put together this bundle and Sarah's putting together designs from that particular challenge. But this morning we want to extend that to you by creating a bit of a challenge for you. So, challenge you. Don't give me that, they said that's an improvement. Even with this, I'm really handsome, okay? So yes, challenge you. There you go. So what we've tried to do is put together some of our more niche items into one money-saving bundle. So maybe things that you haven't considered previously, but you might like to turn your hand to, and it allows you to integrate different mediums, different textures into your designs, and it's quite a comprehensive bundle here. You've got your mica powders. Here they are. So you've got the poppy colour tone and the imperial tone from the regal purple and the ruby red. Then you've got your little mould. Oh, I love this mould. Look at that. So this is one of the Toledo moulds. This is 52mm in size, so lots of detail. You can imagine what that's going to look like when you actually put your polymer clay or any material into that. In fact, there you go, you can see everything that you get there. We're also throwing in one of our clay roller machines. Very, very useful. I've got 2 of those in my house. One for my daughter to use in polymer clay and one to make pasta with. I was looking for a pasta roller. The cheapest one I could find was something like £45, and then I realised we had them here for less than £10.
That's it, as long as you just keep it for pasta, that's absolutely...
Yeah, oh yeah, don't mix the two, because there are some toxic items in polymer clay. Only if you eat them. They're not toxic to touch, just toxic to eat. So yes, keep your 2 polymer clay rollers separately, but it works perfectly. In fact, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll have to scroll back a couple of months, but you'll see that I've made pasta with it. I put some pictures online of me doing it. So yeah, you get your clay roller as part of this deal as well. What else do we get? We get these little, I think they're little Millefiori sort of starter blocks, if you like, because all the design's done for you. You can see there. They're the little pre-made canes, basically, aren't they?
Yeah, you can just cut those and you can use the polymer clay you've got in the bundle there. If you want to make a round bead, for instance, make a round bead with your...
put them on top.
And then you can just cut them into thin slices, mould them over the round bead, bake them with your...
Perfect.
And that's it, you're ready to, you know, you've got that created pattern all done for you. So if you're just starting your polymer clay journey and you're thinking, actually, a cane's not quite where I'm at, or haven't got time to make a cane,
exactly,
which is normally the problem, then you've got that there. Plus, you don't have to go and buy all those different colours of clay. You've got them all in the same place.
And actually, the pattern that you get on these canes is quite unique, so it take you a long time to probably create that look anyway. So they are pretty much done for you there. Pre-made canes, I like that way of describing them. You've also got another one of your mould, this time one of the Carantha silicone moulds, a little butterfly. Very, very popular motif in bespoke jewellery. So you've got your little butterfly mould as well. You've got your gilding wax, your little gleams that people use to great effect within the polymer clay, but also I've seen them used in other mediums as well, just to give a different sheen, a different colour tone to things.
That's it. You can use them on your friendly plastic. You can use them on your cloud clay. You can use them on. I had some carved beads and I wanted to change the look of them, so I actually put the gleam on top of the carved beads, and it made the carving really stand out. Beautiful.
Almost like defining the shapes inside the carving. That's a good idea.
You know, so you can use them on all sorts of different things. You'll find lots of things at home that you'll suddenly start wanting to put gleam on, and then you can once the gleam's on there, you can actually use a sealant on top of them. So once it's sealed, it's there forever.
Absolutely fantastic. Now look at this as well. You also get my two favourite colour tones in terms of combinations in fashion and jewellery designs. Very striking green tone there, and the regality of the amethyst purple there. So you get 2 blocks of polymer clay as well. Pretty much everything you could need to create some very interesting polymer clay designs. You've got your moulds, you've got your mica powders, you've got your pre-made canes, you've got your gleams, you've got your 2 different moulds, and you've got those 2 blocks of polymer clay, that classic combination of purple and green. If you want to get involved with this bumper polymer bundle, this is our chance to challenge you as designers. Now, regular polymer clay artists will already be on the phone lines adding this to their order because they'll recognise the value. But if you've never thought about it before, or maybe you've always thought about it but you've never quite taken the plunge, this is the time to get involved with your polymer clay. I can tell you as well, if you want to keep your kiddywinks amused for hours on end, polymer clay is a great way to do it. It certainly works in my house. If you want to get hold of this polymer bumper bundle, then start dialing that free phone number right now, because of course when we're giving you a challenge, we're going to give you a clearance price. Start dialing the free phone number because the price is rather impressive this morning, and here it comes for everything you see as part of this bundle. And here comes your price point, $29.95. You'd be lucky to get the clay roller elsewhere for $29.95. Certainly if you wanted to get hold of, I suppose you don't have to keep all this together. No. You could buy this as a bumper pack and then split it up, give it as gifts.
If you've also already got a clay roller, my top tip is get another one.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do any work with white clay, keep one roller specifically for white clay, because it picks up everything.
I was just about to say, it picks up on all the little
any little bits
that are caught in there.
Keep one separate for white clay so that you have a complete clean machine, or it's just how white clay through it. As you said with the children, I had a little task set by my son, which was one of my forays into polymer clay, and we had to make a model. I don't know if anyone's ever been there. The Needles in the Isle of Wight, there's a lighthouse at the end of the Needles, and we had to make a model of the whole thing for school. So we sat and made it with polymer clay. It was great fun.
Well, I've seen people making all kinds of models out of the polymer clay these days. This is another thing that kids like to get involved with, seeing people making sort of popular animated characters.
You can make all sorts. I mean, you're only limited with polymer clay by your imagination.
Sure.
Because it's a forming medium, so you can make any shape, any colour, any patterns, any textures, use your moulds if you're not confident with your shapes, but you can make anything because it is a forming medium. Your imagination purely is the limit. So it's just really good to get into. And even if you've never thought about getting into polymer clay, honestly, once you start, it gets really, really addictive, and it is so easy. And again, you know, I love doing it because it's so creative.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the more confident you are in experimenting, the better the outcome often.
But you can start simply by just make some round beads. If you want to get your confidence, just simply make some swirled round beads, just make those, bake them, and be happy that you've actually physically created that, rather than, you know, it's just so creative. It's like why I like threads, because you start with nothing and you make something that's completely different.
I mean, looking at that sort of pack shot that we saw there of everything, you can see just behind my head, for $29.95, it almost just doesn't look possible, does it? And actually, it'd make a fantastic gift for somebody. If somebody's got a birthday coming up and you know they're into crafting, or, I hate to say it, but I have actually made my first purchase. I've bought my first Christmas present. I'm not going to tell you, because it'll spoil the surprise on Christmas morning, Dee, when I give it to you. It's not for air. Yeah, so I've actually bought my first present. I imagine I'm ahead of some people, but probably behind others. I bet my mum's done all of hers. But yeah, wouldn't it look like a fantastic Christmas? You could buy a little sort of hamper or something, bit of tissue paper in there, put it all in there. It's like a little treasure trove of goodies.
It is. And you know, this time of year you might be looking at doing those, you know, those secret Santa drawers for work, and those sorts of things. And you could split this up, and it could be, you know.
Oh, this would fill my present drawer up, Sarah. Last time I made reference to my present drawer on air, all of the lads in the gallery all looked at me with blank faces like, what's a present drawer? Haven't got children, that's why. They don't know about these. Dad, I'm going to a party tomorrow.
Oh, don't, yeah.
Oh, thanks for giving me the invite 6 hours before you've got to be there. So, yes, if you've got some presents in reserve, that's the way to do it. $29.95, that's the way to stock up on that item. What are we moving on to, sorry? Okie doke. Ah, now here we go. A huge array of polymer clay items. So if maybe you're an experienced polymer clay artist and you've already got hold of that bundle this morning, here is a way for you to maximise on your 1 P&P per day by getting polymer clay, but for a wholesale price point. Ooh, nice festive colour tones here as well. Actually, do you know, I'm getting in trouble now. Here we go, we're going from autumn into Christmas, okay? See, they don't like these Christmas references, do they? In the gallery, they're not happy.
Not many days now.
Tell you what, there's not many Saturdays before Christmas, not many opportunities to go shopping before Christmas now. Look at Kerry's face, she looks so disappointed. Somebody count how many Saturdays there are till Christmas for me, or I'll do it in the break. Here we go. So you've got your neon purple. Now these are all 57-gram blocks, as always with our polymer clay. Tried to give you the most, how many? 15 Saturdays till Christmas. So you better get going, guys. If you know somebody who likes polymer clay, make your first Christmas purchase this morning. Actually, I went out for lunch yesterday, and in my local establishment where you can have a nice carvery lunch, there's a big poster as you walk in the door that says book now for Christmas. And somebody was actually sort of perturbed by this and saying to the barman, why have you got this up already? And he said, well, last year we were all booked up for Christmas Day by October the 1st. So actually, if you're not booking your Christmas dinner now, you might actually miss out, and then you'll end up cooking the turkey yourself. So yes, it is a consideration, I'm afraid. As soon as the summer holidays are over, you've got to start planning for the festivities at the end of the year. Let me take you through the colours here. I'm getting carried away with my Christmas talk. Neon purple, beautiful ruby red, Then you've got your sort of chocolate brown tone there, so those are your autumn colours. And then you've got the regal purple, the sparkly, the glittery red, and the glittery green. So those are perfect for the party season. If you want to get involved with this deal, as ever, when we create a wholesale bundle, we're going to give you the best possible price on the market. $7.95 for 6 blocks of polymer clay. Can't say found that. I think they're normally $1.95, so normally it'd be, what, £11.50? Right now you can add your order for less than £8. Massive saving. So Alison invested in the bundle, the polymer clay bundle, and she's texted in to say, till now, not taking the plunge to buy and try polymer clay, presumably. This has made it well worth trying. Do I need some tools or a special cutter to cut the clay? Technically you don't, although the cutters are available on the website.
You know, you can, if you're just getting started, you could use anything you've got at home. You want something like to roll it out with. You've got your clay roller that will get you a nice flat sheet.
Yes.
So you don't need a roller in any other way if you're going to be using those sheets. You can use cutters that you might have in your drawer, your kitchen drawer. If you are happy to take those just to be used for polymer clay.
Use a little kitchen knife as long as you make it dedicated to polymer clay.
But what I would
afterwards.
do is get the starter pack, the polymer clay starter pack that's got the dedicated cutters in there. Yep. It's got the cutter that you can make your little bails with, a really tiny micro cutter that's to make the holes through your beads. Yep. You've also got, I think you get an acrylic roller in there, and lots of other bits and pieces which are dedicated to it. That, I would say, and that bundle, you're there.
Ed. That's it. That's everything you need to get started.
And then if you want to then invest in a baking tray or special rollers or whatever you want to,
you can do that once you've actually sort of got a grounding in the discipline. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I do all my polymer clay work on a big piece of greaseproof.
Right.
So that's what I work on.
So you can just use like baking parchment?
Baking parchment, yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a ceramic tile. And it works really, really well.
Just as well.
And it's great because I work on my dining room table, so I can just lift it off and there's no mess behind.
There you go. Yeah, I think pretty much we rarely eat our dining room table these days, so it's basically solely used for doing polymer clay and homework.
I know. Ours has to be cleared off because we use it every day. So.
There you go. $7.95, a wholesale deal for your polymer clays, and those are all the colours you need for the upcoming seasons. But of course, you're not limited to those 6 colours. You can mix them together to create a whole myriad of colour tones. Now, coming up in less than half an hour, the exclusive launch of this brand new strand of amethyst amber. Getting carried away here. I'm excited by the fact that these have just arrived today and we've already got them on the show. Look at those gorgeous golden amber tones. Absolutely phenomenal. Almost like honey-like hues here. A very organic finish to the gemstones themselves, so you can really see the way Mother Nature has created these. They are perfect rounds of amber. I'm estimating 5 to 6 mil in size. Sounds about right. About 6mm rounds of amber. How often do we have rounds of amber? I've done the chips and nuggets before, and we've had the cabochons. I think we have had rounds, but not very often. No,
not very often. I think we might have had them maybe once, I don't know.
And when we did have the rounds, I think they were a little bit smaller than this.
They might well have been. They're so versatile, aren't they? And if you've got any of the cabochons or any of the other pieces of amber, these are going to work beautifully with them.
The other thing is, of course, very, very lightweight. Something that not a lot of people realise about amber. You'd be surprised how light it is. Of course, this is tree resin, so it is going to be a very natural, light item, but some people are always shocked when they feel it. In fact, I saw a sort of spoof complaint site online. Now, all the complaints were genuine. Not from here. This is just something I was just looking at on the internet. And somebody had said, I can't believe it. I've received my amber, and it's really light. It's obviously not real. Real amber is really light. That's why. So yeah, it's coming up at midday, so I'm only about 20 minutes away. Before that though, we've got another kit to bring you in this time. Another very comprehensive look here Very cohesive look, in fact. This is quite a nautical feel, I think.
It has, and it's got Dion written all over it.
Say again, sorry?
It's got Dion written all over it.
This has, hasn't it?
And they're beautiful, though. The gemstones in here are sort of really easy to use because you've got the clear and the crackle quartz for giving you that clear element, and then you've got the white as well, and that pure white is so tricky.
This looks like a snowflake.
Oh.
Don't you think?
It does a little bit.
Like it or not, guys, Christmas is coming. Look at Kerry, she's shaking her head saying, no, don't do this to me. 15 Saturdays to go till Christmas is here, so yep, get shopping. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this. Now, Producer Dion just said this kit is for all of the fans of blue. Like her. So anybody who is a massive fan of blue. Not if you, in fact, if you're feeling blue, this will help you to cheer you up, I suppose. I love this. Actually, now that I see the gemstones just on their own, it really has a winter wonderland-like feel to it, doesn't it?
It does. It's very, it's very classy, I think, as well. It's got a real sort of ocean feel about it as well. You can take it on that direction. It's got, you know, those blues that you'd see in the sky. Kind of, the sky was a little bit like that this morning.
Yeah, we've got like the sort of sky blues, the tropical blues, the royal blues, all there coming from your banded agate there. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just searching for the carat weight on that particular strand, but I can't find it. 135 carats of your banded blue chalcedony. I apologise, I think I just said agate. 10 mil rounds. It comes from our Gems of Distinction range, actually. You can see how popular this is going to be whenever we have a blue gemstone with this kind of banding where each and every gemstone is completely unique. You know people are going to fall in love with this kit, particularly when we match it up with such neutral gemstones, so you know your designs are definitely going to work. And you've got your crackled quartz here, slightly smaller rounds there. And 150 carats, there we go, my apologies for going quiet there, I was just searching for the carat weights. 150 carats of the crackled quartz and 165 carats of your dyed white quartz there, and those are 8mm in size. Oh, okay, so the crackled quartz is exactly the same size at 8mm, and then the banded chalcedony is 10mm in size. So quite a significant look from your gemstones. You've got 3 strands in this kit. They're all very complementary to one another, aren't they? Gorgeous. Then you have got your traditional threading materials, your beading thread, your elastic and your monofilament, but we've also added in the S-long cord. Now this is a real favourite with a lot of jewellery makers. This can be used in a number of different disciplines. You can see when we have a look at Sarah's designs that she's tried different braiding techniques with the cords themselves, and of course we know that they're popular for soutashing and kumihimo and macrame and everything else that comes to mind.
Yes.
Again, more of those nautical colours, and you've got that transition of colour as well, the royal blue, the sort of turquoisey tone and the silver there. So very, very useful and versatile in terms of your S-long cord. And then you've got your silver plated copper findings, again 115 pieces, everything you could need. Your 3 different head pins, your metre of chain, your ribbon cord endings, your earring findings, your spacer beads, and your toggle clasps. The list goes on and on. 115 pieces of silver plated copper there in your findings pack. And just have a look at this huge suite of jewellery here. And you can really allow the gemstones, particularly the blue gemstones, to become the focal point of your designs, because you've got that neutrality between the crackled quartz and the white quartz. So.
They do, and that blue just really pops through when you use it against that sort of neutral background. I just really love the fact that you've got the crackled quartz adding all that light and shine, then you've got the neutrality coming through from the white beads, but then you've got that pop of colour from the blue. Absolutely. And you can add more colour in, more of that blue tone in by using your S-long threads and using that silvery tones of the S-long as well. It's lovely, just lovely.
You're not restricted to what's in the kit. We try to limit our designers to using just what's in the kit.
We do.
Just because we want to give you an idea of how the actual kit has come together, why we think it works, but of course you're not limited in that way. When you get it home, you can add whatever you want into
That's
the kit,
it. I mean, if you want to add some wire in there, or you want to, you know, make some beads that complement, if you've just got the polymer clay, you want to make some beads that complement the blues, you know, or, you know, you can do whatever you want with this. Once you've got it home, you might think, actually, do you know what, I really love those neutral tones, I want to keep those together, but I've got some other blue gemstones at home that are going to work really well with those banded blue gemstones. So you can then change it, just do what you want when you get it home.
Absolutely.
But if you like Dion, you won't have any blue gemstones left.
Just seeing the name of the kit, the Dionites. This really has been put together with you in mind, hasn't it, producer Dion? Massive fan of blue gemstones is our Dion, and she always tries to give you a little bit of an extra special price point whenever a blue gemstone features, and this kit's no different. This has actually been put together with her in mind. $24.95 was the intended price, but as you know, Dion's always going to give you a reduction when it comes to a blue kit, and there it is, under £20. Unbelievable.
Wow. And you can make so much more than I made, because I was really gem heavy on
absolutely.
2 of the neckline pieces was really gem heavy, so you could make so much more. And I had so much of the Eslon thread left over, I hardly touched them at all. So you've got loads and loads.
There you go. So very versatile kit in terms of it'll work with whichever discipline that you're interested in. You've got something that will cover all the bases here, haven't you?
Yes,
because you've got your traditional threading materials as well as the Eslon cord.
That's it.
You've got these very neutral gemstones as well. So no matter what you're trying to create, this kit is going to fit the bill for me, especially as we move into the winter months, because these sort of more icy tones are going to become more prevalent.
This might be your favourite sort of colour palette going through for autumn and winter. You know, you might want to steer away from the sort of traditional browns and golden tones and the autumnal feel, and actually go for, this might be your palette for that coming season. So it's a brilliant kit.
And we only had double figures of availability on this kit. They are flying out the door at just $19.95 this morning. A little bit lower than we should have gone, but that's what Dion does when she sees a blue gemstone. She gives you all a treat, and you can see how quickly they're being allocated. So which of our designs are we going to
do? The third necklace along.
This one?
That's the one.
This is one of the gem heavy ones you referred to, I suppose.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? It is a beautiful necklace, but you could also you could almost make that a choker style.
Yes. Well, it is quite. It's got an extender on the back,
right?
So you can extend it or shorten it as you would wish. And unfortunately, I'd run out of blue gemstones by that point, because I had 2 left over to make that necklace with.
You could have had one on the end.
Yeah,
of the
I could have had one on the end.
And this just goes to show how useful the S links are as well, that we've launched this morning.
Do you know, if you've got the S clasps that were launched, I use 2 quite often, one on either side of a neckline piece, and then it allows me to swap the back of the neckline piece. So whether I want a chain on there, or whether I want to change it onto a Kamihi mode neckline piece, or whether I want to change it onto a braided one,
so it gives
I can
you
change
more
it on and off.
opportunities, not just as a designer when you're making, but also as the wearer.
Yes.
That's very useful then, isn't it?
Yeah, so just put one on either side, and that's where your jump ring will attach on and off for the neckline piece.
Well, you can see on screen how quickly this kit is being allocated. We've got people multi-buying the kit, so obviously somebody who's got so many designs flying through their mind that they wanted to get 2 of these.
Yes.
And we're never going to limit you, so if you do want to grab one of these, I mean, for $19.95, why not? If you are placing it in your basket, my advice is to check out right now. So let's find out how we create this necklace then, Sarah.
Okay, so you start from the very centre focal point of the neckline piece, and what you need to do is you need to create, and I've already done this for you, this little diamond shape of gemstones, and you need to cross your beading thread through the blue banded. Is it chalcedony?
It's chalcedony, actually. I thought it was agate originally.
Yeah.
I made that error.
So I've got 3 of my white beads on there, and I've crossed my beading thread through the blue, and I'm just going to pull that into a diamond shape. And that's my initial starting point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that to my macrame board, just using 2 of the slots. And then what I've done is I've got another piece of beading thread, and these only need to be about 12 inches long. And I've added on a blue bandy chalcedony and one of the white gemstones. I'm going to take one of my tails through the end bead of the previously formed diamond, and then I'm going to add on next to the blue bandy chalcedony one more of the white ones. So I've got the 3, and this one here is my 4th, and I'm going to cross back through. So I'm going to take the tail of my beading thread in the opposite direction back through, and that's why your macrame board is quite useful, because it's actually holding this first diamond for me, so it's like an extra set of hands. And I'm just going to pull that tight. So I've got that central section of my necklace created. So if I turn it that way, can you see? I've got the central section. Now, spot the obvious mistake. I have made a mistake. Terribly sorry. Let me rectify this mistake. I need to cross through the blue chalcedony as I did on the previous one. So there we go.
Just to let everyone know, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Over half the stock's now been allocated. This is now approaching limited availability, so if you do want to get involved with this kit, we've taken it under £20 price point. We shouldn't have gone anywhere near. And again, if you've got it placed in your basket, my advice, check out. You've got your 30-day money-back guarantee. Make your decision once you see it in the flesh. So I'm really, really sorry to interrupt there. I just wanted to make everybody aware of the urgency that we're looking at now. That's okay.
And now you're going to work everything pretty much in a mirror image. So what I've done is on the top and the bottom of all 4 strands is added one of the beautiful silver spacer beads onto each strand. Then what I've done is I have cut 2 little pieces of chain. And this is going to form the chain at the bottom of the design, the little chain dangle. And all I'm going to do is add those on, and you need one of these to be slightly longer, these chain links, than the other one. And you're going to add one end to one side of your beading thread on the bottom, and then through the link you're going to add, there we go, the other side, and just let that drop into place. And you're going to do the same with the longer one. So there's no jump rings here, we're just using the links on the chain. And the reason I like to do this is the chain links are sealed, so are very secure. So it doesn't matter if you've got a little one who decides they want to swing off this bit of chain on the bottom of your neckline, which just happened. And so that's just added those little links into there. So if I hold that up, can you see they're just naturally falling?
Oh yes.
And they're held in place literally just by the beading thread and the links in the chain. And then the rest of the design is really up to you how you want to do this. And I just literally created a little design across the top using the combination of the white and clear beads. And whatever you do on the top strand on the left, you're going to need to repeat on the opposite side at the top.
Like fractions.
I know. So
this used to be like saying in my house. My dad used to always say, what you do to the bottom, you do to the top.
That's it. So I've just created a little bit of a pattern on that one. Now what we want to do to get that to sit so it creates that feel is we actually want the one on the bottom, the strand on the bottom, to be slightly longer than the strand on the top. So I'm going to put slightly more beads on this bottom strand because I want it to dip. So if I put the same number on, it will just sort of pull it together in a triangle rather than having a dip. So I'll just come up with a random pattern. However you feel you want to do these.
Sure.
It really is completely your design. So I like using lots of these lovely white beads. What are these white beads? They're coral.
No, they're actually quartz.
Oh.
But they've been dyed that sort of snow white colour, if you like, yeah.
Okay. So I've got slightly more beads now on my bottom strand. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 on there and 5 on the top. And then all I did was bring it together with one bead. So I'm taking the top strand and the bottom strand, bringing them together by taking both pieces of beading thread through one bead. And can you see now I've pulled that together, how we've got that arch shape coming into the design, whereas if I'd added the same number top and bottom, that would be more like a triangle. And what I did to hold that so I had a nice firm design is I added on one of my crimp beads at this point and crimped it, and I put a crimp cover over the top so it looks like a little spacer bead. So take that down, and what you want to do at this point is pull both strands of the beading thread individually until you get a nice taut side to your neckline piece. So you can see that that's now, if I hold that up, you see, we've got one side completed, and you've got that sort of almost like, my son said it looked like a fairy's wing.
Yes, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. Yeah.
And you would do exactly the same on the other side, and then you just add a couple more beads onto here, onto this side, the finished side, crimp cover, and then make a loop and add your chain on.
There you go.
So you do exactly the same on the other side.
And that has proved to be very, very popular. Again, partly because of this beautiful range of jewellery, but also because of the incredible value. Under £20 for everything you see here this morning. And if you do want to get a hold of that, then you need to act very, very quickly. Are we going to move over? We are, because we're going to find out what you've been creating, and we're also going to do the prize draw on the Wall of Fame. Welcome back to the Wall of Fame here on Jewellery Maker. Very exciting times, because normally we say this is your chance to see your designs and you will be entered into the draw. Right now we're going to make the draw. Shall we show our designs first, because all of these have been included in today's draw. I'll start with number 395. This is absolutely great. Almost looks like silversmithing around a kyanite, but we'll find out now. This has been sent in by Marie. It says, hi all at JM. I couldn't wait to get my hands on these long kyanite drops. Absolutely beautiful. They are so beautiful. I'm afraid I haven't done it justice, but the next one will be better. Hope you like it. All the very best to all. Regards, Maria. I think you've done it justice. I think it's fantastic.
Amazing. I wonder.
See, bezel says, oh, it's work hardened wire.
Oh,
it's
right.
flattened out, isn't it? I think
could be,
so.
or it might be friendly plastic, possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
Or it could even be silver clay. I mean, do let us know what you set that in, because it's lovely.
It's gorgeous. The kyanite is really identifiable, even in the photograph.
Definitely.
It's a collector's gemstone there. That could, I would get that potentially valued. That looks gorgeous. Okay, you're number 395, so congratulations, Maria. I love that design.
And I've got 349. Polymer clay, by the look of it. And this is from Lizzie, and she's in South Gloucestershire. She says, hi all at Jewellery Maker. Thought I'd send you in a pendant I made a while back. It's using polymer clay, all from Jewellery Maker, of course. I hope you like it. And that's from Lizzie in South Gloucestershire. Lizzie, that's so lovely. It's just like spring morning, isn't it? Those butterflies just look like they're dancing on daffodils.
We always make reference to how popular butterfly style designs are, and that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Here's number 396. This looks like again a pretty cohesive design here. It says, hi all, here's my attempt at wirework rings. They're made with blue quartz, pearls and rose quartz. I really felt a sense of achievement, even though I have neater versions since and sold some of them. I'm watching avidly and waiting for some quality PowerShell, so keeping my fingers crossed. Best wishes to you all, and that's from Chris. Well, rather fantastic, and it's nice to see that people are actually selling their designs as well. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, so I've got a beautiful set of jewellery here, and this is 393, and it's from Amanda, and she's in Birmingham. She says, here is my entry for this week.
You come round here on this one, and I'm going to go like that. Just because Amanda's phone number's on the little business card she's included.
And she said, all the materials are from Jewellery Maker. Good luck to all. Many thanks. And that's from Amanda, and she's in Birmingham. Amanda, that is gorgeous. What a classic, beautiful set of jewellery.
Perfect.
Gorgeous.
I did a pearl showcase last week actually, and we saw a lot of those very vintage or bridal style designs. Absolutely gorgeous. And this has quite a vintage feel to it as well, actually. Classic, or sort of iconic image there of the heart, and then just very delicate with the minimalistic view on the gemstone. It says, hi everyone, here is my entry for this week's Wall of Fame. I thought we'd have a go at making a heart pendant, and this is how it turned out. I did 2 blue coloured culture pearls and some neon apatite. I flattened the outer heart shape and textured it a little before adding the second wire. Oh, the mini anvil made this so much easier, as I didn't hit my thumb once. Love watching every day, and now have to think about getting more storage for all the beads I have bought. Hope you all have a fantastic day. This is coming from Rachel in Darlington, so congratulations to you, Rachel. That is beautiful, and you were number 397. 7. So it's around about that time where we make our weekly draw. This is the beauty of the Wall of Fame, and never be embarrassed about your designs. I would enter every week just in the hope that you win either £50 if you're the runner-up or £100 if you're the winner. That is the order in which we make the draw. We always have, ever from the start, so wouldn't be fair to change it. We're going to select the runner-up. We're then going to select the winner, of course. If you win £50, I'd rather have the guaranteed £50, the chance to win 100.
As you say, do enter every week.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a pair of earrings or a wire work ring or whatever, enter something every week, because if you don't enter, you're not going to be able to be in a chance to win.
Absolutely, you've got to be in it to win it. So let's make a quick spin of the old tombola. I'm going to let Sarah pick out the runner-up.
Okay, no looking. Oh, just one. And I have 3, 2, 4.
3, 2, 4.
Ooh, that must have been.
And it's Rose McKenna. Oh, congratulations to you, Rose. You've just had £50 added to your Jewellery Maker account. Not that instantaneous. We do have to contact the call centre. But yes, Rose McKenna, congratulations to you. Yes, well done, Rose. Well done, Rose. And now we're going to pick the winner, who is going to receive £100 added to their account. I'll let Sarah pick it again because I'm doing the fun part, spinning it around. Get off of there. There's a couple.
All right, once you open it.
There you go. Right. They're all in there. Good luck, everyone.
Right to the corners, make sure everybody's in there.
Here we go.
Okay, and I have 3, 4, 7.
3, 4, 7 this time. Julie Orr. I could be wrong, but I think Julie Orr might have won before.
Well, there you go. Julie must be entering.
I'm probably wrong, actually. I'm probably wrong. Well, it's a completely random draw. You could win. You could win every week, for all you know. That's how the game of chance works. All right. So congratulations, Julie. You just had £100 added to your Jewellery Maker account. Congratulations. We're now going to head over back to my presenters. Thank you for your designs there, Sarah. I'm excited because we're now going to launch the brand new Premier strand of amber. Now, the last time we had amber, I was saying, I think we work on around about a 6-month cycle. You can see how our buying power has increased because it's probably about 3 months since we had our last collection of amber on the show, but I don't remember having any 5mm cognac amber rounds. I could be wrong, maybe I just didn't see them when they were in, but we certainly haven't got any in stock at the moment until now. We had a delivery this morning. These have winged their way directly from our warehouse straight to our studio, and we're going to put them on air this morning. Whenever we launch a Premier item, it always tends to be very, very popular because people don't want to miss out. And whenever we launch amber on the morning show, it tends to sell out. So I don't know what's going to happen this morning, but all the indications are that you need to be dialing that free phone number right now, especially when we're looking at something so organic, so beautiful, so synonymous with bespoke jewellery, and yet you've got the perfect 5mm rounds. We do not see the perfect rounds in amber very often at all. Lots and lots of people already on the phone lines, and that's the way to do it. The second the graphics hit the screen, start dialing the free phone number, or alternatively, click to buy now at JewelleryMaker.com. We've already got a 60-second queue on the phone lines. That just goes to show how popular this beautiful mineral is. Of course, this is a gemstone that does have a very rich heritage and history attached to it because, as we know, often we've seen sort of insects and fossils trapped inside the gemstones, almost like a little snapshot of time held within the amber. We saw a design earlier on the Wall of Fame, didn't we, that featured amber? And I know that a lot of people look for this gemstone because it's so heavily requested when people are putting commissions in to bespoke jewellery designers. This is what I hear from my friends on Facebook. If you want to get involved with me on Facebook, then simply go to Ed Presenter, like my page, and you can message me. I'll try and fill you in with what's going on around here, or my latest injury perhaps. There you go. So if you do want to get involved, go to Facebook. But yeah, lots and lots of designers on there telling me that the reason that they want to get hold of amber is that they get so many requests. People want to own this in their collection. Of course, I think one of the things to do with owning bespoke jewellery designs, one of a kind if you like, is the fact that they tend to have a stronger link to Mother Nature. So they're not, you know, the gemstones aren't quite so heavily worked. It's not all about the way the gemstones have been set. It's more to do with that organic nature of the gemstone or the design, and amber absolutely fits the bill when it comes to this. Of course, in other parts of the world where amber's a little bit more regularly available, amber is sort of the go-to gemstone, if you like. Places like Russia, you have lots of art, lots of carvings, and well, huge collections of jewellery, all centred around the use of Baltic amber, and that's what we've got for you this morning. Top quality amber, beautiful cognac tones here, although I will say there are slight variations in the colour tone. So you do get that rich saturation where you've got those very sort of deep cognac or brandy-like tones, but as you can see here, where you've got a little more clarity, where you've got the light passing through the gemstones, you've also got those sort of golden honey-like tones coming through as well. So again, versatile gemstone, perfect for jewellery makers because it gives you creative options. And here you've got the perfect rounds. Not something we see every day here at Jewellery Maker. Well, we don't see amber every day here at Jewellery Maker, but even rarer to see the perfect rounds. And I would say that perfect size between being used as an accent gemstone and becoming a focal point. Again, you could create a beady bead out of amber. How gorgeous would that be? Fantastic look there. So yeah, 5mm rounds sitting right in the middle there for me. As you can see, nearly half the stock has already been allocated. We haven't even shown you our exclusive launch price this morning, and I've also, it says 123 there, I've probably got about 20 people with it placing their basket yet to check out. Please make sure you're checking out now because I've also got a queue on the phone line. I'd hate for anybody to miss out, potentially because they're sort of caught in two minds. Use your 30-day money-back guarantee. Get it home, see it in the flesh. I can't see anybody sending this back. And as I say, a lot of the people coming through on the phone lines, multi-buying. Maria, congratulations. You literally just got answered. You've already got 3 of these heading your way. Lorna, you've got 2. So 2 of these heading up to Shetland. Muriel down the road in Worcester. You've got 2 of these. Sandra's got 2. Anne's got 2. Dorothy's got 2. Lots and lots of people come through on the phone lines now, grabbing 2 of these, maybe just because I've just said it. Now I've encouraged people to grab it while they can. I don't know if we'll see any more amber before Christmas after this delivery's been dealt with, of course. 5mm rounds here of your cognac amber. And let's have a look at our exclusive launch price. Wow. $19.95. You've got so many gemstones on this. Oh look, there's so many of our guest designers on the phone. There you go, that's the way to do it. So you can see, if you're a guest designer and you haven't got a shift in the next 24 hours and you're not in the building, everyone is phoning up to get hold of this amber. I wonder if you could text in to let us know whether it's for personal commissions or whether it's for a piece of jewellery for yourself. Liz has just come into the studio. That's very opportune of you, Liz.
Oh, goodness, why?
Because I've just launched the amber and now you're here. Is it a coincidence? Are you on this afternoon?
I am.
What are you demonstrating with today?
Oh, friendly plastic.
Friendly plastic?
And we've got the launch of pellets, friendly plastic pellets as well.
Friendly plastic pellets will be launched at 1 PM with Liz. And now that I've brought the amber on, she's in the studio admiring it. Absolutely amazing. We're down to double figures of availability on this particular strand, just $19.95 this morning. If you want to add this to your order, then I think you need to be checking out your baskets to avoid disappointment. I don't think that quantity is actually reflective of what we will have in stock once all of the phone calls are answered, because we've got a queue on the phone line. As I say, we've got around about 20 people with it in their baskets, so it could be a little bit less than 95 in stock. Of course, don't take my word for it. There is always fluctuations in our system. Speak to a member of our award-winning help team. They will be much more informed than I am regarding the quantity levels we have. Or if you can add it to your basket right now, it means there's some available, but check out. Otherwise, if somebody comes through on the phone, I think we've got about 30 people waiting on the phone lines, but if all of them came through and said they wanted 2, that'd leave us with 30. only in stock, for example, and then 20 people check out on the phone lines, and then we've only got 10. So I wouldn't dilly-dally because it says there's 80 on screen. That's not really reflective of what may be allocated on this strand. If you like the look of it, use your 30-day money-back guarantee. You're not going to be disappointed when you see the quality of the amber. Top quality Baltic amber here. Cognac tones, but also you've got those slight variations with the golden honey shades as well. $19.95 for your 5mm rounds. I'll leave that one with you because we're going to give you another brand new item. Oh yes, sorry, not with it at all. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Okay. Now, I'm afraid, once again, I'm going to get in trouble from all of the crew here because I'm going to have to make reference to the most wonderful time of the year. You've got these gorgeous festive colours, and it's because they've got this glittery finish to the sari threads. So you've got the ruby red, the emerald green, and the tanzanite blue. Oh, there was a little essay there coming on screen. Get off screen. We'll read that in a second. Look at this. The graphics are kind of a little bit funny. Do you know why? I think it's because we've got so many people coming through on the phone lines for the amber, and it's just confusing our system a little. Here, you're getting 400 metres. Interesting. It's not divisible by 3. Is it?
133?
Yeah.
0.3.
0.3 recurring. So, what's the length on each reel, please? I think this could be a typo. Could it be that somebody meant to hit the 300 metre? We're finding out for you now. Okay. I'm a bit confused. The description that we have on our system has actually measured these in gram weight. They've actually measured the weighed the reels, but that might be for sort of shipping reasons for our supplier,
probably.
I guess. Okay, we'll try and find out. But according to these details, you get 133.33333333 meters of thread. I don't believe that. I think it's a typo. I reckon it's 300 meters and you get 100 on each reel. Wouldn't that make more sense?
It probably would. I mean, I know these reels have got an awful lot on them.
Yeah, they go a long way, don't they?
They do. Because I've had these in different colours previously, and they are amazing. I love working with them. They're so versatile. Like, I've done a macrame wrap for a cabochon for a moonstone.
Oh yeah.
And the moonstone cabochon was about 15, 20 mil
I think
tall.
I know the ones actually.
Yeah, and it was perfect because it was light enough that you could see all the moonstone through the side and create that sort of beautiful open weave macrame around the side of the cabochon, but strong enough and sturdy enough to be able to hold that gemstone really well. And these just are going to add that beautiful lustre and light to your work.
Because you've got that little glittery effect.
Yeah.
You've got the kind of look that you'd associate with a gemstone, but in your threading material, because you've got that play of light on the thread itself. I'm going to be conservative and say that you get 100 meters on each reel. And oh, actually, it is that is correct. Apparently, these are measured in terms of weight.
Ah.
So you get 28 grams on each reel, and that works out to be 400 meters across the 3. Apparently.
There you go.
So my apologies then, but it did seem a little bit strange, and it still seems a little bit of a strange way to do it, but who cares? It means you're getting more for your money, so you can't complain, can you? Now, I don't know what the price point is on these because these literally arrived in our warehouse this morning. They've come straight down to the studio. We're putting them on air, but I think that all of the buyers online can see the price point because these are being allocated at a rate of knots. So I'm imagining there's a very low price point, in fact, because so many people are grabbing these, and some people clearly do a lot with their sari thread because people are multi-buying this left, right and centre. We've got some of these going over to the States as well, so good morning to you, I think, Debbie. Or could it, behind, but it might still be the middle of the night. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. New Jersey, so that's like
5 hours.
6, yeah, is it 5 or 6 hours, yeah?
5 hours.
Oh, okay, so yeah, it's like 7 a.m. Good morning, Debbie. And you're multi-buying this. Just goes to show the kind of value we offer you here at Jewellery Maker. Charity multi-buying. She's back in from Florida as well. Eleanor in Barcelona, I think. Is that right? Les Opal? I think it's near to Barcelona in Spain. So yeah, going global with this deal just goes to highlight the value we offer you here. I don't know why we get so excited. Oh, well, there you go then. That makes sense now. This goes to show you the value we offer you here at Jewellery Maker when people can source it with greater value from us here at Jewellery Maker than they can even in their own country.
That is an amazing price.
That is incredible, right?
I mean, if you just want to practice learning macrame, or you know, you've got enough material. If you make a mess of anything, you're not going to be worried about it. But these are going to be great if you want to. I can see these working really well if you do macrame. Actually doing a macrame netted style over a bauble.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
With gemstones in between.
Fantastic. So maybe the red, get a red bauble and use the green, and then use the green with the red.
And maybe use
look.
some of the crackled quartz or something like that as the accent gemstones on top of the bauble, and they'll catch all the light.
That is a fantastic idea. If you are starting to think about the Christmas festivities like I am, then this would be a great investment. How many of these do we have in stock? Oh, we've got a very healthy stock level, although we started with a healthy stock level. They are literally flying out the door. We have had one question. I don't know if you've ever done this with the sari threads. Is the thread fine enough to go through a pearl drill hole? Somebody's asking.
It would depend on the pearl, unfortunately, because some pearls, like in the previous kit, you could only get one piece of beading thread through. What I would do with the sari silk, as I do with lots of my threads that I use for going through gemstones, is coat the end either with a white glue, let it dry, or some clear nail polish.
That's what I was thinking,
let it dry, because it creates tension and stiffness in the thread, but it also stops any fraying or any of those ends from when you put it through the drill hole, stopping it.
Could you tie a little bit of beading thread onto the end, and then the beading thread's a little bit got a sharper edge?
Yeah, you probably would. It would then increase the diameter. You could do the old technique of taking a piece of beading thread and doubling it over and creating an eye.
Right. Okay. And
just put the beading thread through, and then pull it through your bead.
Got you.
But again, you would need a large enough drill hole for that. I would reckon that these would go through certain pearls, just depending on their drill holes.
Norma agrees with you. She sent in the exact same idea, that they'd be perfect for macrame Christmas tree decorations, exactly what Sarah was suggesting, so on the same wavelength there. And Mrs. Lee has texted in, this looks like quite a comprehensive comment, so I'm going to have to look up here, I'm afraid. So I'm not ignoring everybody, but I just got to look at that. It says, thanks Ed for mentioning Christmas. It's coming. I am looking for after 9 little ones, all under 4, and you had to say Christmas would be here in 15 weeks. These children can't grab the concept of 15 weeks, and they're now going potty because Santa is coming, and they have not written their lists. Yes, I think you better get down the park. Do you know what? This is how I actually get out the door to come to Jewellery Maker. My son, Freddie, he's 3, and he doesn't really understand the concept of time either, and he doesn't understand why Daddy has to leave him and go to work. He gets very upset when I go. And I always say, do you want Santa to come this year? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well then I need to go and pay the bills. I'm going to work. And then the childminder has to deal with Freddie saying to her for 5 or 6 hours, Santa's coming! Daddy said Santa's coming! So I do it to my own family as well, so don't worry. Anita's also texted to say, hi all, can you kumihimo and crochet with the sari threads, please? Thank you. That's from Anita in Liverpool. I'm going to beat Sarah to the punch and say, yes, I know for a fact that you can do both.
You can do both. The great thing about doing kumihimo with these sari threads is because they're a finer thread than, say, your satin cord or your waxed cords, is that you can put multiple strands in each slot on your disc, and it changes the look completely. So if you saw, did you see the other day the purple twisted one? Yeah. But you could get different looks by changing how many cords you put in each slot on that design as well, and that can increase or decrease the twist on the design. So just depending on how you want to do that. And don't worry, I've been asked by so many people, can I do that design as a demonstration? Yes, it'll happen soon. Don't panic. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to get it into a show for you.
Okay, there you go. So a little exclusive for you as well. If you want to see how that's done, Sarah is working on it. She'll get it into one of her demonstrations on screen very, very soon. This is proving to be very, very popular. As I say, we did buy quite a high quantity of this. We know it's going to be popular for Christmas, although I have to say we have affected our stock levels on this rather a lot this morning. If you have placed it in your basket, you need to check out to avoid disappointment. We'll leave that one with you. People who are still waiting on ours, don't panic. There's still plenty to go around, and a member of our call centre team will be with you very, very soon. We're going to move on though, and we're now going to give you an opportunity to own next month's birthstone in quite a unique form, actually. Perfect again for bespoke jewellery designs because you've got a very organic finish from your dendrite opal. Now, anytime you see the phrase dendrite or dendritic, it's basically making a reference to the fact that you're going to have tree-like or plant-like inclusions within the gemstones, and you can see that here. They're almost looks like, you know, a little fossilised fern leaf, if you like, inside the gemstone. Very foliage-like. If you have a look here, you see that almost looks like the imprint of leaves inside the gemstone. Love these colour tones because, again, perfect for high-end monochrome looks if you're creating elegant evening wear, but also for everyday pieces if you're trying to create maybe a birthstone jewellery piece that can be worn every day. Because they're so neutral, they're going to go with any other gemstone. And I like the little transition here. Sometimes when you're looking at a monochrome look, it's very dramatic because you've got that juxtaposition between the white tones and the dramatic jet blacks. Here, you've got a little transition tone. You've got the whites, you've got the blacks, but you've also almost got a sort of off-white tone, and you've got a sort of charcoal grey in there as well. So a little bit more softer, a little subtler than the traditional monochrome look. And of course here, you've got October's birthstone in the form of opal. This is a common opal. And I was actually talking to sales manager Scott this morning about this, just before my producer arrived, and he was saying, we've had this in stock for a little while, and he wants us to do something a little bit dramatic. Hopefully, I'm not stitching my producer up here and you're aware of this too. Oh, he said sales manager Scott didn't tell her that, but she was going to do it anyway. So there you go. This is a Gems of Distinction strand, and as I say, sometimes if something's hanging around in our warehouse, we will take it a little bit lower than we should to clear it out and make way for new and exciting items. As you know, we actually have just received a brand new delivery of items. Really? And we're going to bring you some more brand new items on this morning's show. We just had a new strand of cultured pearls arrive. Okay, we're going to give you a clearance deal. There's already people adding this to their basket because they know they can trust us. If we say we're going low, we're taking this down to bargain town. Currently available at $17.95 from our Gems of Distinction range, dendrite opal, and we're not staying there. October's birthstone available right now for under £10. This does come from our Gems of Distinction range. It is our elite quality of dendritic opal, and yet we've taken it down to a clearance price this morning. Making friends. That's what we're all about here at Jewellery Maker, and making genuine gemstones as accessible as possible. Congratulations to everybody who came through early. You know you can trust us here. Somebody's just bought 5 strands of dendritic opal at that price point. I'm not surprised. Should be $17.95 at 9 AM tomorrow. It will return to that price, but right now you can add this to your order for the clearance price of just £10 this morning. We have unfortunately created a little bit of a queue on the phone line. We're actually looking at a queue of over 1 minute right now, not because the call centre team aren't very active. They are working through the calls, but just because of the popularity of the deals we're bringing you, I think some people might still be queuing up for that beautiful thread, that sari thread there at £6.95, and another add it to your order price right now, a clearance price on Dendrite Opal. And we haven't even touched on the fact that once again our lapidarists have actually enhanced Mother Nature's work here, creating these beautiful triangular shaped facets. And once again, we've got guest designers flying through to get hold of this. So good afternoon, sorry, to Frankie. Perhaps you could send us in your designs or what you intend to do with this beautiful gemstone. No two dendritic opals are ever going to be identical. So once again, perfect for bespoke jewellery design. And a genuine clearance price there should be £17.95, taking it down to £9.95, so under £10 for 125 carats of dendrite opal. And unfortunately the queues on the phone line's up to around about 2 minutes. As I say, we are working through your calls, but we are giving you rather ridiculous deals this morning. I think that if you are working with this gemstone, particularly if you're creating a special gift for somebody whose birthday's next month, or if you are including it in your sort of birthstone jewellery range at a craft fair, you want this gemstone to be the focal point of the design. You want it to be the standout piece of your design. I know that Sarah loves to work with opal. I mean, how would you include this in a design, Sarah?
Do you know, each one of these I would make into a beautiful pendant, and I would probably use some wire and allow the wire work to frame the gemstone.
Okay.
And I'd probably go for some sterling silver coated wire, because it just would add light and dimension. But actually, I'm looking there and thinking actually some of them have got a real gold and sort of almost a peachy tone to them. And with those, I might put the antique bronze or the gold or even the copper toned wires. I think they would look nice, or even a baby pink.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was touching on that. It's not a really dramatic black and white tone, is it? No. There's a little transition there, like you were saying, almost a peach tone.
Almost dove greys in there,
yes.
And they've got such beautiful colour tone right across them. So, and I would just allow that wire, maybe do a little gizmo coil and allow the gizmo coil to follow that beautiful line. But I can see these working really well if you wanted to have them and maybe have 3 and just put a little spacer in between each one, and then have a piece of chain running between them just to pull them into a fan shape, and a little bit like an Art Deco nice style. Yeah. And to allow them to be sort of pulled around into a little fan shape. And I would just maybe have one of the whiter ones on either side of one of the darker greyer ones to have that beautiful mirrored effect.
Absolutely. Oh, I suppose you could even use these as petals in a wirework flower design.
They would work beautifully as petals. They would work beautifully as wings because they've got all that detail on them. So you could have, you could pick to have a white wing at the top and a grey wing at the bottom for a butterfly, or even stylised dragonfly wings. They are so versatile. But also, if you wanted to have that as just onto a piece of chain, just one single one, how dramatic are they?
No, fantastic. Actually, guest designer Frankie was getting involved with this deal. I spotted that. I asked her to let us know what she's doing. She has texted in to say, I'm going to make a couple of pendants for friends for next month. So, as I say, October's birthstone, so important to stock up on this, especially if we offer you a clearance deal. You can see how quickly these are flying out the door. I think we started with around about 150. 2/3 of the stock now been allocated. So there you go. Beautiful designs that you can create with a very unique gemstone there. And okay, where are we moving over to do the final kit? Okay, we're under a little bit of pressure this morning because of course we've got 4 kits. We were joined by Helen, the editor of Beads and Beyond, for the first hour of the show, giving us some inspirational designs. Don't forget, you can see all of our shows again on YouTube, and it'll probably be repeated at 9 PM this evening anyway. This is a gorgeous kit, almost feels spring-like in terms of the colours, but they're going to work all year round. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you these beautiful gemstones. Perfect rounds, actually. I tell you what, the amber is a similar size to this. It would go perfectly with this kit. French fancies here, and you have got 3 strands of gemstones. 85 carats of your rose pink quartzite, and then you've got your purple quartzite, or I would say that's more of a sort of kunzite pink quartzite. Yeah, bubblegum pink's a good way of describing it. And then you've got the aqua blue quartzite as well. Now these are all 6mm rounds, very soft pastel shades. I would normally associate this sort of colour palette with certain designer. People will know the one. They do home furnishings as well as clothing. Do you know the one? A woman's name? 2 women's names. In fact, she's got...
Oh, yes, yeah. I do know who you mean.
You know, that's the kind of palette tone that they're used in those designs.
Yeah, very much so. And you can emulate them very easily with this kit at a fraction of the cost.
Actually, just in case people are sitting there struggling, my sister's called Laura and my cousin's called Ashley. Right, okay, so we're going to move on. That's true, by the way, there's a fact. And we've also included the wax cord here right up Sarah's street for some of these braiding techniques as well. You've got this dusky violet tone, you've got this beautiful sky blue, and then you've got the baby pink, so very in keeping with the colour tones that you've got there on your quartzite strands. You have got your rose gold plated copper findings here, 115 pieces. You can see that everything you can need, the same collection that we've seen throughout the morning in terms of your chain, your head pins, your earring findings, your toggle clasp, your ribbon cord ends, your crimp beads, your spacer beads and your crimp covers. And then you've got your traditional threading materials, this time sort of antique gold beading thread, your monofilament and your elastic. So as ever, the idea here with our kits is that we give you everything you need to get started with the hobby of jewellery making, or of course a perfect way to replenish all of your stocks at once, but for a wholesale price point. A huge collection of jewellery Sarah has put together using this particular kit. It's just,
you know, this kit just didn't seem to end.
A never-ending kit, one of those. I know them. I know the ones.
I love the colours. Wow, how fresh, how bright, how fun. I loved it.
Absolutely.
And they all work beautifully together, but you can separate them out like I did on the neckline piece. I just used the pinks and the teals, or the sort of turquoisey colours.
Yeah, I love those.
And that's a bit of a play, that necklace, because it's actually a weave inside the I've woven the chain in between the beads, so it was a bit of a play because I was braiding, so I thought, well, I'll braid the chain inside the beads.
Because to get a metallic texture into a normal weave is,
and it looks the same on both
look.
sides as well, so it doesn't matter if you wore the necklace upside down or back to front or whichever way you want to. It hasn't got a right way around, really. It's the same on both sides, and it creates that beautiful sort of curve as well in the beads.
Spectacular collection of jewellery here, like you say, because the colours are so fresh and inviting, if you like. It does, I suppose, make the design process a little bit easier, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. You know, when you've got a colour palette that you really love, your designs just come very easily. And I think I made 3 of the pieces of this set literally straight away as soon as I sat down. I made the neckline piece with a sort of Art Deco V straight away, and the 2 pairs of earrings very quickly once I sat down with the kit. And then I thought, right, start playing around with some different ideas.
Well, you can see that, you know, your creativity's taken over here when you've got hold of this kit. I love that. This looks like almost like bubblegum colours from one angle, but then when you see them alongside other gemstones, they look really soft as well.
Yes, they do. They do. I mean, you know, the peach sort of, it's almost like a peachy pink.
Absolutely.
But it's beautiful, so subtle and so feminine, and then you can put it with all 3 tones work together, and the beading thread complements beautifully.
Well, once again, lots and lots of people getting involved. We know that a lot of you have got your orders up and running already with us this morning because of all the incredible premiere deals, but this is going to be a kit not to be ignored. Now, we do have an intended price for this kit, but as ever, producer Dion doesn't care about intended price points. She's going to take it even lower this morning, so if you want to get involved, start dialing now. It was already under £20 for 3 strands of gemstones, your threading materials, your findings, and the wax cord for $15.95 now.
That's mine then. At that price, I'd be buying 3 or 4 of those, because just for the gemstones and the threading material, forget our findings pack and the waxed cords and everything else that's in there, and the organza. Don't forget you get organza bags as well, so you know if you are selling on, you've got something to put your beautiful jewellery in when you've sold it.
You could potentially make your money back on this kit with 1 piece of jewellery at $15.95. I saw a little bit of a thread probably a few weeks ago now about quartzite. People a little bit confused by the reference. It is a gemstone in its own right. It's not a derivation or anything, or a fake synthetic version of quartz, anything like that. It's a gemstone in its own right. It's actually a sort of hybrid gemstone between quartz and sandstone. And because of the mixture of those two properties that you get from the rock formations, it makes it very porous and therefore perfect for some of the dyes that we use here. And that's why you get these beautiful colour tones in your quartzite with that aquatic blue, that almost kunzite pink, and that peachy tone there as well. So that is what we're dealing with this morning. 3 strands of quartzite in this kit for just $15.95. Could be another sellout. Our kits are proved to be very, very popular this morning. So which of designs are we going to demonstrate?
Right, Dion has fallen in love, I think, with this bracelet here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
She said, as soon as she saw it, she said, yes, I want this demonstration of that one.
Those would sell so quickly at craft fairs, and you can make them quite affordable, can't you, these kind of designs?
With the wax cord that's in this pack, you would be able to make that bracelet just using the pink and the blue 5 times over, very, very easy, probably 6 or 7 times over very easily, and it only uses 10 gemstones.
Absolutely.
So it's a money maker for you if you do sell your jewellery on, but it's a great one if you want to make with those children that are expecting a visit very shortly. Keep them busy, make some jewellery.
Here we go then.
Okay, so the setup for this one is a little bit different. What you need to have is 3 pieces of beading thread, and they need to be the length of your bracelet plus a little extra to anchor them into your macrame board. And you will need 6 lengths of your wax cord, 2 of blue and 4 of the pink. Now I always do my first end doubled over, so I would cut 2 lengths of my pink, but twice as long as I want them to be, and 1 length of my blue. And I've put that all into a ribbon clasp. What I would do with your beading thread is, because you've got several pieces of beading thread, you want something for the clasp to be able to hang on to, is just use a crimp bead. Just crimp them all together before you put them in your ribbon clasp. Okay. And the start of this bracelet is our standard square knot. So what we do is, with all 3 of the cords, form a loop running over all 3 of my beading thread, cross over the opposite side, and take that, and I always fold my tails over, under all 3 pieces of my beading thread and into the loop I formed. So that was on the left hand side. And now if you get to this point you can't remember where you need to do your next half of your square knot, if you look, there's be one side that looks like a little humpback bridge with the cords coming out from underneath. That would be the side that you're going to pick the cords up first and make the loop with. So it's really easy if you forget. There we go. So that's the second side, and you would do 3 of those before you start the next section. But for speed, we're not going to do that. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your pink cords on either side, and you're going to bring those down, and you're going to do a square knot on just the central piece of beading thread. So it's going to go underneath that central one, same as you did before, but you're just going to go under 1 piece of beading thread. So 1 half, and then we're going to do the other half, again just over that central one. And then I'm going to bring my bead up, and I'm going to again do a square knot underneath it to anchor it. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, like that. And same with the second bead. And then I'll show you how to do the caging, which is really nice because you're using both colours of your beading thread. So that's 1 and 2. Oh, behave. There we go. So I'm all fingers and thumbs today. There we go. So those 2 are now caged inside that 1 piece of beading thread. And then what I'm going to do is just anchor those 2 pink cords at the bottom of my macrame board. Now this is where I would say, if you haven't got a macrame board, it probably is really useful to invest in one when you're doing these sorts of braids. So what I'm going to do now is create the sides that go round the beads. I've taken the piece of beading thread that is on my right hand side, of the right hand side of the beads I've just caged in the middle. So that hasn't got any beads on it, and it hasn't got any of the square knots we've just done. I'm going to take both of the cords together that are on the right hand side. So I'm holding the beading thread in my left hand, and I'm going to do the knotting with my right hand. And I find it easier to hold the cord personally. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those cords and I'm going to take them over the top of that piece of beading thread, forming a loop. So they're actually gone over the top of the beading thread. I'm going to take the tails underneath the beading thread and into the loop. So that's my over knot. And then going to do the same, but I'm going to go underneath the beading thread and take the tails through the loop. And that's your under. So you go over and under. So over. And pull, and then you're going to go under and pull. You're going to do 3 of those on either side. I won't do the other side, but just to show you. Over. And if that happens where your cords come apart, so you've got one that's tighter than the other, just take the tail and pull it, and then under, like that, and pull that down. And it's easier if you've got hold of your beading thread because you can get a good nice neat finish. So if you imagine you've done that on the other side as well, what we're going to do to bring all this back together is take, so imagine I've done that on the other side and they'll all be back down, is literally take all 3, bring the tails back together so you've got 3 on either side and do another square knot. And that is all you're going to do. You're going to repeat that process down the braid, creating the cage in the middle. Like that, and then the other side, up and under, like that. So you imagine that side was done, and you would have, if I hold that up for you, you'd have that beautiful cage look on that side. And if you imagine I'd done the same on the other side, but you can see you sort of get almost I don't know what sort of colour tones to say. It's like tutti frutti colour tones. Yeah, you've got all the colours coming together.
Totally.
And you would literally just carry that on until you got to the right length for your wrist. But don't forget, you're going to be using the extender clasp. Well, so if you want to even economise more on your materials, don't forget you've got 1.5 inches of chain on your extender clasp. So you actually only need to make about 5.5 to 6 inches worth of braid.
There you go. Absolutely perfect. Now I have to say a quick apology there because I've been a little bit distracted during that demonstration.
I'm not surprised. I didn't look because I knew you were being distracted by something.
Only because so many lovely things have just arrived in our warehouse and they're all flying down into the studio straight away. I'm about to bring you some luxury pearls. I'm going straight back over to lunch and thank you so much for your demonstration. Amazing kit there, especially for just $15.95. Again, lots of people actually multi-buying our kits this morning because of the value we can offer you here at Jewellery Maker. So very, very impressive. And when we talk about value, we're generally talking about the price point in conjunction with the quality. And I mean, we know that there are limitations within the cultured pearl industry at the moment. It is affecting the production of pearls and it will in turn affect the overall price point. That's what we've been told by our suppliers. I'm yet to see any dramatic effects on our pricing because we're so competitive here at Jewellery Maker. And these have taken my breath away. They're absolutely out of this world. This is the kind of quality of pearl you'd expect to see in a boutique jeweller's, especially when you see the size. 10 by 9 mil generally would be considered a luxury pearl. Especially if it was a perfect round, but of course you'd be hard pushed to find this many pearls of this size that were perfect rounds. And of course I prefer that slight irregularity in the size and shape because it shows your customers that you are working with the real deal and that you can offer them genuine minerals hand carved by Mother Nature herself. Absolutely spectacular in terms of that classic white tone that you've got there, perfect for, well, contemporary designs, but also vintage designs, bridal commissions. This is going to work. In fact, how about this? If you manage to get hold of the early bird this morning, the gorgeous Peridot, these, for me, are like best buddies in jewellery designs. Even if you wanted to put these just in a simple memory wire bracelet design, absolutely outstanding. And you probably use the Peridot as the accent gemstone there and use the pearls as the feature because they're so large. Now pearls themselves, as I say, are expected to increase in price over the coming 12 months, but here at Jewellery Maker we are trying to honour our original pricing at the moment to make genuine pearls, not just as accessible as possible, but to prove that we offer you the best value on the market. And of course, these are the kind of items that will allow you to create, well, much larger profit margins for your own small business if you're selling your designs. People already associate pearls with luxury jewellery, with sophistication, and of course, the strange thing for me about pearls is I see people wearing them every day. Like my sister often wears, you know, a long strand of pearls tied in a knot down to the navel sort of thing, but you know, you'll see every girl in the office with their pearl studs in day to day. But then again, when you go into a special event, when you go into a wedding or a christening or what have you, all the ladies are getting their pearls out. So they're perfect for every event. They're very eclectic, aren't they? Because I always say, it doesn't matter if you're 8 or 88, you can always wear pearls. And it does seem to work with every single look. They're quite subtle, but they do bring that association of gravitas and elegance with them. And I think that when people see pearls, they're prepared to pay higher sums of cash because they know what they'd have to pay elsewhere on the high street, generally 3-figure sums for pearl necklaces. If you were to restrand this, add a beautiful clasp, you're probably going to be able to not only offer your customers the most competitive price on the market for a genuine pearl necklace, but you're probably going to treble your money as well. Especially when you see the price point that we're going to be able to offer you this morning. And we saw last week when we were doing the Pearl Showcase, Sheila touched on the fact that when she was abroad with Steve and Sarah, the owners of the company, she saw people selling individual pearls for $15 each. These are 10 by 9 millimeters in size. Generally, we're looking at 12 to 18 months per millimeter in terms of the time it would take. So we're talking about 10 years of work going into each and every strand. Just to create this one pearl took 10 years. This took 10 years. You know, a lot of time and effort. And also, when you are dealing with cultured pearls, there is a lot of wastage, you know, and not every single mollusk is going to create a perfectly formed pearl that is usable on a strand like this. So, you know, there's a lot of time that's gone into creating this. And as I say, the price point you're going to see this morning is an exclusive launch price from Jewellery Maker, who pride themselves on giving you the best value on the market. So please don't think that the price that I offer you this morning is reflective of what you're getting. It's our way of passing on the savings, and of course you deserve it because these savings have come as a result of your loyal custom. You've allowed us to increase our buying power over the last few years, and we still deal with the same suppliers that have been supplying Gems TV with their pearls for the last 10 years. So we've got very, very long-standing relationships, but of course when you can buy in bulk, you can get better prices. You experience that every morning with our bundles, and we are able to do the same on a larger scale and pass those savings on to you. 10 by 9 millimeters in size for your genuine white cultured pearls. Yeah, my director just said that the price point pretty much just ruined everything I've said about cultured pearls. It's true. It's absolutely true. I was saying treble your money. In fact, if you restrand these, because they're luxury pearls, if you're using a sort of sterling silver clasp or even an antique bronze sort of vintage looking clasp, which would go really well with pearls, I would say you're probably more likely you're going to quadruple your money, even more so maybe.
Oh, crikey. I mean, just do a little bit of research, just wander down and have a look. Yeah. A, if you can find a pearl necklace with pearls that big in. Yeah, there is a shop very close to me. It's in a very nice town, very affluent town. Okay. It's down one of those little boutique-y streets. Right. And
I know the ones.
Yeah, you know the sort.
Kind of place,
little cobbled streets, beautiful. But pearls down there, even cultured pearls, not hand-dyed and all the rest of it, not natural, their prices are scary. Yes. They're scary prices. When you look and you think, actually, someone's just added an extra zero onto that price. Yeah. But that sort of price for pearl necklaces, and that's pretty much all they do in that one shop is pearls.
Just pearls, right.
I mean, their higher end ones go for the price of a family saloon car. I'm not joking.
No, I'm quite aware of the prices you can pay with pearls, absolutely. Yeah. I've seen sort of like Tahitian pearl jewellery, and I know it's a different variety, but one pearl in a silver ring for 3-figure sums. And here you've got a full strand, and this is the sort of classic look which I think is more identifiable potentially for your customer base. For £15, it's a no-brainer really, isn't it? You're going to need pearls. In fact, you know what? How about a pair of shepherd hooks, 2 head pins, pearl earrings? They're still going to make a massive impact because they're 10mm in size. So you only need 2 pearls. That's a £10 pair of earrings all day long. You're still offering people greater value than they find on the high street, and you make your money back. In fact, you make profit off 4 pearls. You've got all the rest to create beautiful jewellery designs. $14.95. This is how we flex our value muscles here at Jewellery Maker, by taking one of the most in demand and consistently selling minerals here at Jewellery Maker down to a unique launch price this morning, $14.95. They are 10x9mm in size, and we are very proud of what we do here at the Genuine Gemstone Company in terms of making our gemstones as accessible as possible and offering you the chance to own items which I suppose some people may have felt they'd never have the opportunity to own. If you do want to have sort of a greater insight into how we work here at the Genuine Gemstone Company, there was a documentary on ITV last week following the owners of the company. It was mainly focused on our flagship channel, Gems TV, although I did get my face on screen. $14.95 is ridiculous, but as I say, if you do want to get a greater understanding, because some people might be tuning in for the first time and thinking they can't be real at that price point. They are absolutely real. These are genuine cultured pearls, 10x9mm for $14.95. Don't panic, because you do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So, risk-free shopping experience. Dial our free phone number. You will be coming through to a short queue, but you can kind of forgive us for that when we're offering you this kind of value. They are going to be highly in demand. Most of our phone buyers are actually grabbing 2 of these. I'll say about 50% of the people on the phone lines have taken more than 1 strand of pearls, so incredible. Often, when we find jewellery makers shopping from us and getting valuations, independent valuations on their jewellery designs, the pearls tend to be featuring in the design, tend to be adding value into that design. A regular buyer from up north, Sheila, was it Sheila or Sheena? Actually worked with pearls and chrome dioxide, and she got a valuation, I think £220, something like that. And actually, I think the jeweller himself said that he would be happy to put the piece in his window. Yeah. And one of the, I have to dig the email out that she sent, because it does actually state that the pearls themselves have been classified as round pearls, and that's one of the reasons he gave it a higher valuation. But they were just like this. They did have that slight irregularity, but actually, on many of these, to the naked eye, they do look round, and from a distance, if you're wearing these around your neck, nobody's going to think, oh no. And actually, like I say, these little sort of irregularities on the surface actually shows the way the mineral's been formed. It shows the way the mollusk has actually spun those silks to create this beautiful and desirable mineral. Absolutely gorgeous. Available right now for $14.95. Please don't panic if you are coming through to a queue on the phone lines. We still have some stock available. But stay there, speak to a member of our award-winning help team. They'll be with you very, very soon. And we're going to leave that to one side. We're going to move on. We want to give everybody as many deals as possible and provide you with add-it to your order price points. Well, this is pretty much summing up everything we've just said this morning in terms of your cuts, your textures, your shapes, and your iconic looks. Because I'm thinking bridal commissions, if you just got hold of those pearls, here is your accent gemstone. And you can get it as part of a wholesale deal this morning. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, we are going to do this in 1 second's time. I've just picked up the wrong one, apparently. Yes, I've got it now. Actually, this would still go along with your bridal commissions, because again, you've got the neutral tones here in the form of a 4-strand bundle. And of course, the more items we place in a bundle, the bigger the saving we can offer you. Just have a look at this. So you've got a real range of cuts, sizes, but you've still got that neutral colour tone across the entire bundle. So you have got your plain rounds of white agate. They range in size from 6 all the way up to 16 millimetres, perfect rounds there. That is actually a 42 centimetre strand, so you've got a huge carat weight there, 290 carats on that strand alone. And you have then got these beautiful little wheels of rainbow moonstone. Again, June's birthstone, but it features that beautiful optical phenomenon known as agilurescence, and I can see it there on each and every gemstone. Hopefully I can capture a little flash of the colour for you there. There it is, beautiful. So again, you've got a graduation in size there, ranging from 8x4 up to 10x5. You've then got your beautiful little clear quartz. Again, a graduation in the size from 3mm to 5mm, quite delicate. Those could be perfect as your accent gemstones, and all three of those strands coming from your Gems of Distinction range. And also, how about this? Something that we do not see very often here on Jewellery Maker, cream moonstone. So that slightly opaque version of your natural white moonstone. You still get the agilurescence. In fact, it's more of a shiller than a play of colour that you get on your cream moonstone. And you've got 70 carats there. Again, same graduation, ranging from 8x4 to 10x5. Now, if you were to buy all 4 strands of this individually, it would be £20.80. That's already roughly £5 a strand. It's already ridiculous, really, isn't it? But this morning we are going to take it down to Bargain Town, as we said, because we have created a wholesale deal, £12.95 for all 4 strands. So you're talking about £3.25 or £3.24 per strand. Unbelievable. Where else would you manage to get rainbow moonstone, clear quartz, cream moonstone, and those huge, I suppose, statement-sized white agates for just £12.95? That is an add it to your order price. This is the way, particularly I think for anybody concentrating on bridal commissions, to expand their collection of gemstones, to give themselves a variety of different shapes and gemstones to work with. All of these could be, well, perfect as accent gemstones or as the focal point of a design. So you can't go wrong with this bundle. You've got that neutrality from the colour tones, and you've got a huge saving there. A wholesale price should be well over £20 today, just £12.95. So if you want to get involved, then dial that free phone number, or alternatively click to buy now at JewelleryMaker.com. Now we'll move on. We did promise you the chance to own the crackled quartz cubes to your order, and we are not going to let you down. It's a double deal, and these I believe are 6mm. There you go, 6mm in dimensions, and you've got those little cuboid shapes. They might go rather beautifully with the black agate cubes that you might have invested in earlier in the show. There is still some stock available of that particular item. If you do want the sort of more dramatic nature of those monochrome designs, this would work perfectly. Just to be clear, you don't get that as part of the deal, but there are still some available on our website. Now here you've got the crackled quartz here. As we always talk about, the idea of including a bit of texture into your designs with these inclusions. Now these inclusions have been created, they've been gone through a heating process to create this, and you actually get 150 carats here on both strands, so 300 carats of crackled quartz cubes on both strands, 6mm in size. If you do want to add these to your order, you know what to do. Another add it to your order price this morning, because we've created a wholesale bundle, just £8.95 for 2 strands of crackled quartz. This, in many occasions, is a must-have for a lot of jewellery makers. As I say, I mean, if you're working on bridal commissions and you just invested in those pearls for just £14.95, is rather ridiculous. But if you want to maximise on your 1 P&P per day, you could add this double deal for just £8.95. Look at that for a combination. The tiara design is jumping out at me as I stare at those pearls and beautiful crackled cubes, because, of course, with that simple tiara twist technique, you'll be able to get the cubes to sit upright sort of within the tiara designs, and therefore you can make the most of the inclusions and the dynamic shape you've got here, these beautiful cuboids. Double trouble deal there, 6mm in size, both strands, this morning for just $8.95. Now, if you want to add that to your order, you know what to do. Dial that free phone number. And we did launch quite a unique product this morning. This was a bit of a double Gems of Distinction deal. Now, this, for me, is almost sort of a collector's edition strand of both Rainbow Moonstone and Labradorite. You get this all as one deal. And we did give you an exclusive launch price this morning of $29.95. If you're going to be investing in this, today is the best day to do it. Not only do we only have a limited number available, and when you look at the extent of the cut and the faceting, as well as the quality of the Labradorite, which is highlighted in the Labradorescence, and the Rainbow Moonstone with that gorgeous spectrum of adulorescence that you get inside each and every gemstone, you're going to fall in love with these. Tomorrow at 9 AM, they're going to return to the intended price point of $34.95, but today, for one day only, as an exclusive price point, you can add this to your order for just $29.95. So very, very impressive. Two of the gemstones that do offer you those beautiful optical phenomenons. I really want to show you this little rainbow. Look at this. Hopefully I can show it. There you go, a little spectrum of colour, a little rainbow living inside the gemstone. Fantastic. So that's the optical phenomenon you get in Rainbow Moonstone. Very similar to that we see on Labradorite. So again, almost like a subtle monochrome effect there from your Labradorite and your Moonstone. I like that idea of using both of those in one design. That would be very impressive, wouldn't it? $29.95. We're going to go over now and see what Sarah was able to create, because we challenged her earlier with 8 strands of your 4mm round. So this was a whole myriad of colour tones. In fact, wait there. We get in trouble now. I'm back. So this was Sarah's challenge. My apologies, Director Claire. And just for running off there. So so many creative opportunities with this bundle, huh? There is, and I just ran out of time, unfortunately. I've hardly touched any of it. So much going on. Oh, do you know, I've not even cut 1, 2, 3, 4 of the strands. I think 5 of the strands I don't think I've touched. So, you know, but you've got so much going on, and you've got your autumnal colours, you've got your, I've gone floral with the neckline piece, so I've gone for my cherry blossoms. I love the combination of the pinks and the greens. That works beautifully. These tanzanite blues from your agate look very, very elegant with the silver findings as well. I will show you everything you're going to get quickly, because I've only got about a minute before the Designer Inspiration Show is about to begin. You've got your orange agate, your beautiful pink quartz, your green adventurine, your red crackled quartz, your blue agate, your sort of confectionery style colours there, and that multicoloured strand of quartzite. You've also got your unikite and your multicoloured agate there, so everything you could possibly desire. More colours than you'd find in a rainbow potentially, and all in that very versatile 4mm size. We have been put under a little bit of pressure this morning because of course we were joined by the lovely Helen from Beads and Beyond, so thank you to Helen for joining us in the opening hour, but thank you to Sarah for being here for well, the whole show in fact, and your designs have been very inspirational. Always nice to get our experts' insights into how you can use the gemstones, and of course they're fantastically inspirational designs and demonstrations, so thank you so much. Stay tuned right now, because the gorgeous Liz Welsh is here to bring us some friendly plastic, including a brand new product launch. Thank you to all of the crew, especially Cassandra, because she made me a coffee. Thank you, and good afternoon.
Thank you to all of our customers who voted for Jewellery Maker to be nominated at the Make and Sell Jewellery Awards. We've been nominated for 8 awards. Please continue to vote for us to win by going to the Make and Sell Jewellery Awards website and registering your vote. Voting closes on the 27th of November.